This podcast is brought to you by the Arte Media Pantheon. Please head to artemedia.org to see lots of podcasts from our great friends. And if you would like to start your own podcast, it can provide you with the tools and resources to do so there. So please head to artemedia.org. That's ARETE media.org. Yeah. No, there's no false first start. Welcome to the Spurr the One podcast, everybody. Yeah, that's gonna drive me crazy. Oh, that's so annoying. Sorry. Welcome to Spurr the One podcast, everybody. I am your host, Justin. As always, I'm joined by he who is they, who is them, who is we, and we are all together. Goo Goo Gachu. Is the incomparable...
I am not a crook.
Is the incomparable Jordan, everybody? Goo Goo Gachu. He's the walrus.
I am not a crook.
He is not the crook, because he is the walrus. Goo Goo Gachu, Jordan.
Yeah, we got it, Justin. We got it.
You, Jordan. And on today's show, first up, as always, we got news. We got all kinds of news. We got Mortal Kombat 2 trailer. We got Tron Ares trailer. Stranger Things Season 5 trailer. Hoppers. There's Rebel Moon 3 news. They'd be making a Captain Planet. There's a Barbie movie coming, but we don't know what that Barbie movie is. Grown Ups 3, Clayface, Donkey Kong, all kinds of news. And then later, it is bad, terrible, weird, odd, unusual animation you've never heard of. Animated movies and shows you've never heard of.
You may not have heard.
You have likely never heard of.
Some of them you might have heard.
Some of them you might have. Most of them you have not. Don't lie. Don't pretend you have. Don't lie.
I don't know. Some of mine were pretty much in the zeitgeist, so they were chanceably heard of.
A lot of mine were not. But first, before we jump into...
Oh, is it time for a comment response time?
It's time for a comment response time, but
Must we?
I just want to turn that
off.
Sorry, I'm just it's driving me mad that the full screen is not working. Oh, that's really annoying. Sorry. I can't stand it when I can't fix a problem. Where are we going with this? Yes, it's time for comments response time. I really wanted to shout out, before we jumped into this, I really wanted to shout out the Brony community, because I'm going to be real with you. The Bronies have been real welcoming, you guys. They've been real chill. They've been real cool. They've been all right.
They've been real neighborly.
I want to shout out a few specific brony comments that were honestly they were cool, man. They were cool. They've been cool guys. You guys are way nicer than the Star Wars fans.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. Let's go.
But I feel like everyone is nicer than the Star Wars not fans.
I
can't call them fans because none of them have a consensus of what they want as a community.
Yeah, no, we got one which was welcoming us to the herd. We got another comment, several proud comments of being bronies. And to you bronies,
you do you.
That's not, and to that one brony subscriber who subscribed to us, that's not really what this is.
But we support you anyway.
And we will probably come back to you. Oh my gosh, that was one I have to add this now. So, I'm going to tell Jordan this now. I meant to tell him this earlier. I have crafted... Shit, My Little Pony.
Craft dinner?
I have crafted...
You've crafted dinner?
A list of stuff I've affectionately dubbed shit I want blank to watch. So there's two lists. There's shit I want Jordan to watch and shit Jordan wants me to watch.
Interesting.
So if you think of shit, we'll add it to the list.
Okay.
So
I'll need to think. I'll need to think on that.
Add it to the list. Let's start with...
Because there's definitely been things over our time doing this where I have been like, I need to find a way to get you to watch this. I just currently can't think of them.
Exactly. So Jordan, let's jump right...
No, don't do that.
Into the news!
No.
I did it. I don't even feel bad about it. I don't even feel bad about the fact that I
And
did it.
and yet you should. Oh no, wait, that's at the end of the news, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't know.
I've lost the thread of the bit.
I've lost the thread. Zoom has been a very distracting influence. Host tools. What does that do?
Anyway. It's gonna be the obsession this entire episode.
It is. It's my OCD. It can't handle the. And I know I can cut all that out when I make this into videos, but it still is driving me crazy that I can't fix it. Let's do a trailer bonanza, Jordan. That's what I'm calling it. A trailer bonanza, where we talk about trailers that are coming out for stuff. First looks at things, and let's begin it with the Mortal Kombat trailer. They put the red band out trailer for it, and
it looks like Mortal Kombat.
They sure are doing a Mortal Kombat, aren't they? It's pretty cool that they're actually doing a Mortal Kombat this time. My big observation. It's not a criticism. He's there. You see him in a few of the shots in the background, but Johnny Cage is just doing the same thing Cole did in the last one.
Yeah,
it's the same. So it's the same shit. It's the same storyline.
So my thing with this trailer, with this movie, this trailer
makes the last one feel even more redundant than it already felt.
I think that's the intention, because I don't remember. I think I've watched the first one once. I don't remember it, and watching this trailer, I don't feel like you need to have seen the first one.
Not really, because
it just feels like it's just like they don't want it to be a sequel, but they have to have it be a sequel.
Pretty
like they
much,
don't.
Yeah.
It's not a sequel.
It feels like a soft. Yeah, it feels like a soft reboot. Because Johnny Cage seems like he's the main character, and for those of you who don't remember the last one, there was a main self-audience insert character called Cole, and I think I saw a review that called him Armadillo Man, but he was the guy who he had armor and he fought the forearm dude, and he had sticks, and he was a self-insert character. Nobody
cared about him.
No, but his whole bit was like. He gets drawn into the whole Mortal Kombat character thing, and he's like, I don't believe in this, and I don't belong here, and I'm just a regular guy, and I don't have powers, and blah, blah, blah. And it's the same shit Johnny Cage is doing in this trailer. To be fair, it might be a deceptively edited trailer. But Cole is there. That's what's weird. You see Cole at one point in the background in one of the shots of the trailer. So he's in the movie.
I don't think it's deceptive. I think what... I'm calling it now because I won't be surprised if this happens. There'll be like some sort of scene where, because Shao Kahn is there, there will be some sort of scene where the main character from the last one is like acting like a badass, and Shao Kahn murders him. That'll be the studio's way of saying, yeah, sorry, we fucked up by bringing this character nobody cares about in. He's gone now. Absolutely. He's no longer a thing. I could see them doing that.
Absolutely, I could see them doing that. Where he gets fatality so they can do more fatalities, because judging based on this trailer, they're doing more fatalities. But my God, did this franchise look like the game? It just really looks like the game. It's impressive how much it looks like the game.
You've
got Baraka.
It's its best selling point.
Right? You got Baraka. You already mentioned Shao Kahn. Just it looks like Shao Kahn. I still don't care for Raiden, but his costume sure looks accurate. He looks like Raiden. It looks like Mortal Kombat 2 Raiden. Holy crap. This looks like, it's more an adaptation of Mortal Kombat to the game than it is a sequel to that first movie. Which is fine. Yeah. That's fine. I'm fine with that. Or like Ermac, when Scorpion rips Ermac's soul, I'm pretty sure that was Ermac.
I think it was Ermac, yeah.
I always get him confused with,
it might have been Noob.
Yeah, it might have been Noob Saibot. I always get him confused with, no, I think he's Noob. Sorry, it's Noob Saibot. He rips the shadow out and cuts him in half. That's sweet.
Pretty sure that's Noob.
Baraka. It's like everything I said about the last one.
It just looks like Mortal Kombat. Right? That was my thing when I watched this trailer. Is I watched it and I'm like, it, for better or worse, it sure looks like Mortal Kombat, which I like.
That's what I
does
was
it for me.
That's what I was like last time. Last time I was like, oh yeah, you took all the fun, weird shit out of Mortal Kombat, and this time was like, oh, I'm sorry, we took the weird shit out of Mortal Kombat. Oh, fuck you. We'll put all the weird shit back into Mortal Kombat.
It really screams that the studio heard what people wanted and delivered.
And they delivered. Yup. Yeah, absolutely. No, it looks fun. I'm excited. We're probably gonna. I think there's enough Mortal Kombat stuff that we could probably do an entire episode devoted to just Mortal Kombat.
We'll see.
I think.
We'll talk about it.
I think.
We'll talk.
But we're definitely gonna do it.
I'll
for
have
the
my
show.
people call your people.
Next. Tron Ares trailer. This. I don't understand this. I don't understand what this is. The tone doesn't make any sense. It's weird. It's dark. I don't. So
It just
Jared
really
Leto
feels
is,
like it's. It really feels like it's lost the plot.
a little bit. Like, I won't lie and say to you, watching Tron shit tear up the real world isn't fun looking.
Yeah.
But is it like Tron and his little goons go? It's weird because it wants to make it clear that Ares is the good guy or the main character, but it also wants it to have its cake and eat it too, and have it appear as though he's antagonistic or villainous in some way. Like, it's
he
very
wants
strange.
to live, I guess. And so like I guess the idea is gonna be probably in the beginning part. So I'm gonna this is my prediction of the movie. We're gonna start off with big business CEO guys like, I can make people that can just be deleted over and over again, and do what we want. And then they create the Ares guy, and Ares guy keeps over the beginning part of the movie, maybe a montage or something, keeps dying over and over again, and kind of gets to the point where he becomes self-aware and remembers all the previous death and is like, I no longer want to do this. I want to be alive. And so then like escapes into the AI world where all the Tron people are, and brings a bunch of them back to the real world to like stop humanity from that, so that he can live, so that he can both be antagonistic and not be antagonistic at the same time.
I think
also Jeff Bridges is apparently there, probably for one scene.
Oh, definitely for one scene, for sure. The one scene.
Like that one scene that we
one
saw.
scene in the trailer is the only one he's in. Yes, definitely.
Like that's probably prediction-wise, that's probably close to when Ares escapes from the CEO people's control and ends up in Tron World, and he finds him.
No, I think I'm pretty sure, based upon what I can glean from this trailer, I think he's from Tron World. I think because the evil CEO guy says, oh, we thought about looking to the stars.
We'll bring them here.
We'll bring them here.
Right.
Yeah, so I think he's from the... And it looks like they're different... So I don't know if the idea is supposed to be that, like, the ISO, like the programs that are on the grid are like the ISOs now, and they're self-sufficient, and the red ones are like man-made, but it seems like the red ones, because there's more than one. There's more than Ares. There's other ones.
There's a bunch of red ones.
They seem to be against the blue ones because there's a big fight sequence between the two of them in the middle of the trailer.
That's where I say
really
it's lost
confusing.
the plot, because Tron was always blue good, red bad.
Yeah, it's
when
weird.
you start and I get maybe that's the point, but when you start blurring the lines and have red also is maybe good.
Well, I think maybe the idea is that they are evil, this group, and it's a classic. He realizes they're bad.
Oh, he's Finn from Star Wars,
and it's about him becoming good. I think it's probably what this is. So because it's weird. Like those shots of him attacking the city, I don't get them. Like the tone is confusing. I'm sure there's probably going to be a more, or maybe not, but I'm sure there'll probably be one more trailer which like explains the plot a little bit more. That is the Tron Legacy trailer. Stranger Things, Jordan. Stranger Things be back after 12 long years.
37 long years.
Haley tagged me, friend of the show. Haley tagged me, and what I'm pretty positive is not real, because I think I've seen it before. But it was a list of runtimes for this.
I've heard that that's not true. I've heard that was fake. Like the 2-hour ones, or like each episode is like a movie length, and it's like 8 movies. I've seen various TikToks about that, and from what I've heard, that's not true. That's been like debunked. But maybe that's wrong. I don't know. Part of your Broadway World podcast says, oh, by the way, Justin, I Googled it, and the timestamps of all the season 5 Stranger Things is correct.
Completely contradicting.
They're all 2 hours, and I think because it's the final season to make it last. I've heard that it's not true, so I guess we'll find out.
Here's what I will say: if it is true,
until the official, like the people who are officially attached to this confirm it,
Yeah, we don't know for sure. Yeah.
I put press X to doubt because that sounds insane.
Here's what I will say. Um, here's what I will say, and it's the same thing I commented on the picture she tagged me in, which is that if that is true, that's atrocious. That is atrocious. The pacing in the last season was bad enough. A 3-hour finale would be awful. Movies that are that long are awful. Television would be even worse. Television is not meant to be that long. Like that would be awful. It would be an absolute chore to get through.
Apparently, the Duffer Brothers said so. Okay, well then I guess it's true.
Well then that would
then
be
they're
an
done.
absolute chore to get through. Like I say, the last season was bad
Oh
enough.
no, that
it was awful.
pretty much guarantees I will probably never watch it.
Other than maybe for this, I will try to like trudge my way through it. But
maybe
that sounds agonizing.
I think at that point, in order for us to, if each thing is like 2 hours long, for us to be able to adequately talk about it, that would be the week.
Yeah,
both of us talking about just that.
Yeah, pretty much. Or I would have to like sandwich it in. Yeah, it would be a challenge.
That would be a slog.
It would be an absolute slog. That sounds like an absolute slog. Yeah, it pretty much discourages me from wanting to watch it. Just
especially because
just instantly kills my interest in watching it.
Especially because I'm going to be honest.
It's an alright show. It's not
that good.
It's
and
an
this just to me
show.
This just to me screams they know that they can't milk it anymore. It's coming to an end, and they really want to squeeze every drop of juice out of it.
They're not making it animated so they can continue ringing it for its absolute life for forever. But
please
so let's talk about this trailer. Now, here's what I will say about this trailer. It looks fun. Like I like these characters. Don't get me wrong. And when I'm watching them and I'm engaged with it, it's fun. Like I love Steve. I love Dustin. I love all of them.
To each their own, Haley.
Yeah,
that doesn't.
Like
maybe that's an age thing.
Perhaps.
But I have a job.
I just think of all the much better things I could be doing than watching 3 hours of Stranger Things.
I have a job and this. And after like a full day at work, I don't want to come home and spend 3 hours watching Stranger Things.
Like I get that they've taken a lot of shit for spending 10 years to make 43 episodes of television, but like you don't need to cram another 10 years worth of television into one season to answer to that. You don't need to do it. But anyway, let's talk about this trailer. I think it looks fun.
Why bother? I mean, it just looks more of the same.
Fun. I think it looks fun. Yeah, but what I will say is when I'm watching it, I'm engaged with it. I'm having a good time. I'm having fun. Like, and there are a couple of moments in that trailer that were pretty cool. I will say they were pretty cool. My one thing is you said it, and I thought it was funny. You were like, Hopper's definitely gonna die. I was surprised to hear you say that because 11's definitely gonna die. You're right. David Harbour would full bore. You know David Harbour will full bore come back to 100 of these.
Oh, I mean, I'm not looking at the extra. In this instance, when I'm watching that trailer, I'm looking at the narratively satisfying thing. And considering they took 10 years to put out the next season, this has to be narratively satisfying.
That's what I'm saying. 11
has to be.
The most...
And no, I don't think so. I think the most narratively satisfying thing is David Hopper sacrificing himself so 11 can live, and 11 ending up with no powers.
Right, but
and getting to continue to live her life.
Because
narratively, that to me is the most satisfying.
But again, what I would say to that, I should say, is it makes way more sense for 11 to die because 11 Millie Bobby Brown has no desire to do any more of this.
Right. Again, that's where I say I'm not looking at the extraneous things. I'm looking at the narratively satisfying
thing. Let me finish. Not only does Millie Bobby Brown never want to do this again, so it's the character that's the most expandable. She's the one who's keeping the Upside Down open, so it just narratively makes sense for her. For whether or not it's satisfying or not, it makes the most sense for her to be the one to die because she's the reason. Her or Will will die. They're the two that are. Maybe they'll kill more than one. Maybe Hopper will also die. But 11's definitely going to die. Like definitely, full stop. I guarantee you. I will be shocked if she doesn't.
I don't necessarily think she's going to die. I think she's going to lose her powers. I
I
think that connection is going to be
no,
severed.
because
But
then
I
that
don't
leaves
necessarily. I mean, again, yes, looking at this cynically from an outside
logically.
perspective, cynically from an outside perspective, knowing how Hollywood works. Yes, Millie Bobby Brown, none of them have a desire to do this anymore. It comes across like none of them do. So
I
I wouldn't be
think
surprised if any of them die. The only ones who want to be doing it are the adults because they've lived for so long that they realize that a paycheck is a valuable thing.
that I disagree with. I think some of them would
Oh
keep doing it.
no, I don't.
I think some of the older kids like Steve, Nancy, I think the Gate and Maserati would probably keep doing it. The only one of them who seems the most disinterested in my opinion is Millie Bobby Brown. Like she's the only one.
I I think
And
most of them seem disinterested.
varying degrees of disinterested, but she's the one who I would say is
They
actively
just they
disinterested.
they give me like the kids in particular. They give me the Harry Potter treatment where
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, they've spent all of their lives working on it. Of course,
Also,
it's not unreasonable that they don't want to continue doing it for the rest of their lives. I'm
also,
not when I say it, like I'm not saying that it is.
also,
It just to me makes it so I wouldn't be surprised if most of
um,
them die.
also, just based on the trailer, I know you need enough of them to survive for there to be an emotional. And too many of them die, it becomes comical. So the reason why I think the other reason why I think Eleven's gonna die. To be fair, you're right. You're completely right. It could absolutely be a red herring. It would make the most sense for them to red. Well, no, it wouldn't. Okay, there's multiple reasons why I think it's gonna be 11.
Yeah, to be fair, I should say I'm
You have to.
saying this. I don't Stranger Thing is not great for me remembering things because it's so forgettable.
Yeah, it's
So I
very
don't
forgettable.
remember a lot of
To be
the
fair,
plot details that happen in this. Also, I want to read out uh a Party of Broadway World podcast says, I want to know whose blood that is that Nancy is washing off her hands. Sorry, that was there. I wanted to read it because it's a
yeah, I don't
valid
know.
question.
It's a valid
I don't
question.
know.
I'm
Um,
I'm gonna guess probably the one boyfriend, but no. Okay. The reason why here. Okay. The multiple. Number one. Stranger Things is good at one thing, and that's setting up a mystery. None of their seasons have ever paid off satisfyingly, ever. Not one of them. They all have a great setup. The payoff is never good, ever. It's always like, oh, the only season that had good payoff and a solid twist is the latest one with Vecna. Vecna is a legit good bad guy. Like he's a legit good. It's honestly my favorite season of that show because he's just that good.
I
Um,
think that's right.
um, but like I remember the first season where it's like, oh, there's this big mystery and this big conspiracy, and it's like, it's just a thing. It's just a thing. It's not really all that interesting. Um, so this show has never paid off in a way that's narratively satisfying. So you're right. Like my brain goes like, oh well, okay, it's possible that that trailer makes it look like it's going to be 11 because there's a lot of coding in that trailer that it was like, oh, it's time to do this one last time, or we have to do this I need to ask this of you one last time, and then there's like a really serious shot of her like looking serious and bleeding, and it's like, yeah, to me it reads like they're gonna do a thing where she does like she does every season where she stands in front of a big CGI monster, goes ah, and then bleeds from her face, and she's gonna die or explode. And because she's the one connection to the Upside Down, they've said in previous seasons that she's the one who's keeping it open. So in order to permanently close it, they're gonna kill her off. And this is where the outside knowledge comes in, because I guarantee you, Millie Bobby Brown went, I don't want to ever come back to this. I want to be obliterated. I don't want to have a chance where you resurrect me. I don't want to lose my powers just so you can give them back to me so I can come back and do another one. I never want to do this again. Now, I will be absolutely surprised if I'm wrong, and I will eat crow if I am. But I don't think I am. Because it's Stranger Things, and their twists are never good. Like, they usually do
But see,
the most obvious thing.
for me, the Hopper dying and her losing powers is the most obvious thing. It's equally as obvious as Millie Bobby Brown dying.
I never said it
Like
wasn't believable.
to me, they're both equally unoriginal and hackneyed, which is why I think either could be true.
Oh, I'm not saying yours isn't possible. I'm just saying mine is more possible.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Again, the cynical, we know how the sausage is made part of my brain is like, yeah,
Yeah.
that is the most likely scenario.
I'm just like, this is like
But
a year
I'm
and a
just
half too
saying,
late. Why this like the thing?
oh, this is way too
It's
late.
way
I
too
don't
late.
care.
But
That's
there's
kind of
people
my
who are genuinely
that's
excited for it.
kind of my thing is at this point, like you
Evidently,
sent me this trailer and I watched it and I just shrugged and I was like, I I, I truly at this point
it's
don't really
it's
care.
such utter
It was
indifference.
it was canceled like years ago as far as I'm
Yeah,
concerned.
that last season was kind of a decent finale. It didn't really
It's
need
I don't
more.
even remember it. I just don't care. It left the zeitgeist of my brain
Yep.
and I have not
I
thought of it
I watched
since.
the trailer like an hour ago and I already don't remember it. I've already forgotten. It's already left my brain. Anyway, moving on. Moving on.
Party of Broadway World podcast says I feel like Will die. I just have that feeling.
I
I
heard it.
could
I heard a theory
I
that
could
some people believe
see
he's already dead. Like he died in season 1 and he's just been dead the whole time. That'd be a halfway decent twist. But
because
it's Stranger
that's
Things.
an interesting
They
that's an
never
interesting
do.
point. Is yeah, he was taken to the he is another connecting factor between
Yeah.
the Upside Down, and so I could see a thing
He
where
also doesn't want
it's
to do the show anymore, so
it's
he's also
him
believable.
it's him and Eleven who both have to die because they're both linking it or something like
Like
that.
it's
There's any number of things I could see them
the thing
doing.
is
All of them would be hackneyed.
they've never managed to make it Stranger Things spin-off stick ever. They've tried multiple times. It's never worked. I doubt that this animated series that they're supposedly making is going to come out. Like they I can't remember. I think it was season 3 or yeah, it might be 2. It's either 2 or 3. But they had that episode where it was just a random psychic kids that was a backdoor pilot that everybody hated. Not a person liked, so they never made it.
But yeah,
Anyway, let's talk about something fun that we actually are interested in watching. And Jordan, let's talk about because I'm probably gonna pitch watching this in the theaters, coming back to some animation later, and that's Hoppers.
yeah, that looked fun.
That looked
That's
really
just
fun.
it's Avatar, but with animals.
I love how she's like, it's not like Avatar. It's like it really is very
It
much like
really just is
it's
Avatar.
very much like Avatar. My favorite. I love the bit at the
Yeah, that looks fun.
the birds are very. I love the birds are like, hey, what's up, girl?
Hey, hey, how's it going?
Are we
Hey,
vibing?
okay, girl. Hey, girl, are we vibing?
I think for like forever now, Pond Rules is going to become a bit now.
Pond rules. It's pond rules.
It's Pond Rules. Yeah,
You know, she's got to eat somebody.
she's got to eat somebody. Might as well be me. You know, she got me fair and square. She got me. It's Pond Rules. Yeah, it's Pond Rules.
She got to eat somebody.
It's Pond Rules. You just got to eat someone. You still want to do this? No, it's weird now. Yeah, it looks fun. It looks really funny. I'm like, oh, that's really funny. I'm really quite excited for that. And yes, I absolutely agree. We need to go out and watch Pixar movies, but I just could not be bothered with Elio. I'm sorry. I just couldn't.
Elio.
Exactly.
Which one's that?
That was the last one. The one where it was the kid who gets abducted by aliens.
Oh yeah, that one looked fun. I'll probably watch that on Disney Plus.
It's apparently really quite good, but I just couldn't be bothered to pay for it in theaters.
There's a lot of other things that came out recently that I had to spend money on, and I had to make choices.
This I might.
You know, yeah, because there's probably not as many things that have come out, and the choice will be this.
Jordan, and that's it. That's all. That's the mini section of the news for trailers. That's all the trailers.
Boop boop boop. That's the trailer. The trailer sound.
Boop 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 boop
Boop boop boop.
boop boop. Okay, that's enough. So Jordan, they've announced officially the casting. Shigeru Miyamoto himself revealed the casting for
Zelda.
You got it. I was really hoping you'd pick up on that by the Shigeru Miyamoto part of it.
Well,
Yes.
I know there has been some controversy around the Zelda casting, so that's why I know about
Really,
that.
I hadn't heard any controversy. I'm excited for it for reasons we'll talk about
well,
right now.
the controversy that I had heard was that
It's about her hair. She's
at
got
one
a
point,
wig.
casting choices.
Oh.
There was at one point, I think it was a fan casting. I think people wanted it to happen, but there was at one point a trans actress, who a lot of people thought she looked exactly like Zelda and would have been a perfect Zelda, and so a lot of people wanted that individual to play Zelda, and then they went in a different direction, and now that group of individuals is upset because they feel like they're not being and yada yada,
You're not.
So
Hey, like any person, you are not entitled to a character
you're
being
not
cast.
guaranteed a
Right?
role.
I don't believe any group of people. Might be a hot take, but I'm going to do it a PG way. I don't believe any group of people is entitled to hold on to exclusive rights over a character. And that's all
Hot
I'm going to
take.
say about that. But no, I'm excited for this casting because, you don't know who they are. I'm going to say their names. You don't know who they are, and I'm only saying their names because I'm doing it out of respect because it doesn't matter who they are. And then that's what's important to me. But it's being played by Zelda is going to be played by Bo Braxton, and Link by Benjamin Evan Ainsworth. And I'm cool with that. I'm cool with not knowing who these people are. I think with big characters like that, that prevents you from like we didn't kind of talk. I don't know if we talked about this in our review, but I definitely said it when I went on Toon Talk to talk about Superman, which is that when Bradley Cooper as Jor-El shows up, I don't see Jor-El, I see Bradley Cooper. And so here, this gives us the opportunity to just see Link or just see Zelda. And
Yeah,
think
I
that's
mean
cool.
the thing with Hollywood is that I've kind of come to realize is a revolving door. So at some point, the faces have to rotate out so new faces can
Pretty
come
much,
in
pretty
and
much.
become the faces that are there, right? Like
And
it
I'd
just,
much rather it be somebody I don't know and have them get a chance to go do something else off of this. Like to
I
me,
mean,
big
yeah.
tentpole characters like this should be a stepping stone, not like career destroying like it ends up being. But the interesting the interesting bit, and people are making a bigger deal out of this than I think maybe is warranted. But it is worth noting she is British.
So she's British in Breath of the
So
Wild.
some people think that they might be doing Breath of the Wild. That it might be that might be what they're adapting for this movie. And I thought that was interesting. But
I
also,
mean,
people
they
can
could
fake an
be.
accent. But I don't.
It,
Has
yes.
she?
So two things to address that. One, British people are very good at faking an Americanized accent, so yes, they could. But two, in older versions, I mean, you don't really hear her. She could have always been British sounding.
That is completely fair. That's
They
a completely
could
fair point.
easily play it off like that. She's royalty, so royalty kind of gives that vibe.
So
And then three, um, it just because she's British doesn't necessarily mean they're doing Breath of the Wild, because it could just be because they like that version of Zelda.
also
It's a
completely
popular
fair.
version of Zelda,
I imagine
and
it'll
that's
be
the
like
version they,
an
you know.
amalgamation of kind of everything. Like I imagine
Yeah,
it'll probably they'll probably involve Ocarina of Time and time travel, and they'll probably pull from. It'll probably be a mostly original story. My question is always with that is, will Link talk? And
I guess we'll find out.
how will he talk? What will his
I th I
character
think
be like?
I think they'll do what they
That's
did
what I'm
in, like,
interested in.
character wise. I think they'll do what they did in Breath of the Wild, where canonically he talks. He just does it very little, and like he's very soft spoken. But
Also,
canonically, the version of Link in Breath of the Wild does talk, because in Zelda's diaries she mentions how he talks to her.
yeah, true. Um,
And like
um,
the chat choices that you select in that game are supposed to be Link talking.
oh, that is a fair point. You just don't hear. Yeah, it's a fair point.
You just don't hear him. So
Did
he canonically can talk.
you
He just,
you had
you know,
mentioned off air that this isn't really news. It's just a question that popped into my head. You mentioned that you watched somebody play that new Donkey Kong game, right?
yeah, I watched about 3 hours of it.
Is it true that Pauline talks and speaks English and the rest of them just don't?
Yeah, and I assume that's supposed to be because she's human and they're apes.
That's weird. Because I saw an article that I didn't pull where they were like Nintendo needs to have their characters speak English. It's weird now. And I was like, and in it they were like, yeah, Pauline speaks and none of the other characters do. It's really weird.
She speaks in like, yeah, perfect English, and then yeah, all the other
But
don't.
it's not
And
even
I
like
just
they don't speak English. It's like they do, but it's like ooh, ooh ha ha. But you still see them talk, and it's like why do that? That's weird. And I was like, that's a valid
from
point.
what I saw, the story implication is supposed to be that she understands ape. So
Gotcha.
she's understand, and like Donkey Kong obviously understands ape, right? So like you're
I
just understanding what's being said.
Yeah. But I do agree with that. They need to get some voice acting in their
I
games.
agree too. I like, and
Um,
especially because like for me, Breath of the Wild is a great example of the points where there is dialogue, where there is voice acting, are the strongest points of that game.
exactly. Speaking of Donkey Kong, Jordan. Speaking of Donkey Kong, they have officially confirmed that a Donkey Kong movie is in development over at Universal Pictures. Um,
That's not surprising.
I thought they already announced this, but I guess they are officially confirming it. Untitled Donkey Kong movie. I'm assuming it's the Seth Rogen version.
Probably.
I kind of hope they do like a, cause his. I mean, I surmise this is what they're gonna.
Here's the question. Do you think in that movie they're going to bring in Pauline?
Maybe I could see it. I could see it because it
Do you
was.
think she's going to end up do you think it's going to be weird and animalistic and she's going to end up being Donkey Kong's love interest, or do you think it's going to be like a love triangle movie between Pauline and Candy Kong?
I think they'll probably do the kid version of it from this game, if I had to guess.
Uh,
Um, or I
that'd be
mean, the story I'd
that'd
like
be
to see,
funny.
well, or I suspect they might do because he's Seth Rogen, is they're gonna do a, and because he doesn't really go through a character like in the Mario movie, they'll do a thing where he's Seth Rogen, deadbeat Donkey Kong that he is in the Mario movie, and it's gonna be about him becoming better, and King K. Rool will probably be in it.
Oh, probably.
I I'm stoked.
I
I
would
see
be
like the
very
Seth Rogen Donkey
surprised.
Kong, so I'm pretty
I would
stoked.
be very surprised if King K. Rool is not there in some capacity, because he is always there in some capacity.
Um,
Always.
So Jordan has seen these movies. I have not seen these movies, but in a recent interview, um, when asked about his third Rebel Moon movie, Jordan apparently he's put a pause on it
Ah,
because he's too distracted doing other things, like his upcoming LAPD movie, which like, all right,
I don't remember either of those movies being very good, so I think we could just skip
I've
the third one.
only seen the first one. I'm gonna have to watch the second one.
Did I
Um,
watch them both?
you did, yeah, you
I
have,
must have, I
yeah.
guess. I don't really they don't stand out in my brain, so they must
No,
not have been very good.
not they kind of part scenes in them stick out, but not with any specificity. Uh, Interesting. So Jordan, they were gonna make. You'll never guess this, Jordan. This is big news. I'm revealing right here to Jordan. He didn't know this. Jordan, for years they've been trying to make a Captain Planet movie.
That's not shocking, but okay, go
By our
on.
powers combined, by
Like,
our
wait, live action or animated?
live action. They've been trying to make a live action Captain
E
Planet for literal years. Um,
Gross.
so according
Why do we have to make live action everything these days?
Well,
Sorry,
to
go
be
on.
fair, they've been trying to make this for literal decades, like long time. Um,
Maybe they should have given up.
Apparently, and this makes sense because Leonardo DiCaprio is like a real like environmentalist guy. But apparently, he tried to make it. His production company tried to make it, and then it went. Yeah, it was at Paramount. It was written by Glenn Powell and Juno Matt, and then it reverted to Warner Brothers Discovery. And he's remained passionate about it. He's wanted to make it. And so now, rather than being adapted into a movie, it is now going to go to Netflix as a live action series.
Of course it is. Okay.
And like,
I have no strong feelings about this.
I love Captain Planet, but Captain Planet is a character from the 1980s, and he belongs there. Like, the, people
Yeah,
are just
I
gonna call
don't,
him
yeah.
woke or whatever. It's just like every time I see a
Well, I
character like this,
mean,
I'm like, they're just gonna call him woke, and then people like me and you are gonna be like, oh my god, he was always woke,
that
and
was the
like
point.
that was the point, and then like two of the Planeteers are gonna be gay and in love. Half of them are gonna be the wrong colors. They're gonna get rid of the Russian girl. Like it's what's gonna happen, Jordan. It's what's
One
gonna
of them is
happen.
gonna one of them is gonna be trans, one will
One of
be
them is gonna be
gay,
trans. And
one will
look,
be
that's fine. They
that's
could be
fine.
trans and
I
gay,
don't have a
but
problem with
all the
that. I
people
don't
are.
care.
No, I don't care. But like all the annoying people who grew up with the show are gonna be like, oh, they made Captain Planet woke, and people like me and you are gonna have to be like, Captain Planet was always woke. It was
That
always
was the
woke.
point.
One of the
He was
guys.
about saving the environment. That's the point.
One of the guys' powers was heart. It was always woke. Like he's the gayest character on the show. He was probably gay,
And that's
and
fine.
that's fine. It's fine that he was gay. His power was heart. He was definitely gay.
He just wanted to love you.
The little Indian boy. He just wanted to love you.
I'm just saying, maybe we stop.
Like,
Like
what
maybe
are they
we
gonna do?
maybe
What are they gonna do? Are they gonna do a hyper serious like River? No, you know what? No, Jordan. I've decided I'm only okay with live action remakes if they get the Riverdale treatment and they're bad.
but they have to stay within that threshold because Riverdale pushed too far.
It did. It
It
pushed
got
too
it
far.
got too bad. It
But
got
like,
so bad that I think it is the only show you and I have ever quit.
oh no, that's not true. The I did quit that one. I rage quit that one. That is absolutely true. Glee.
I guess I should say rage quit.
Glee. I rage quit. I rage quit Glee. But that's definitely Riverdale was definitely one of them. I just stopped watching it because it was like
It hit a point
it
where I
just
was just like
stops being fun.
this is not fun anymore, and I'm
Stops
just
being fun.
angry. I'm not like angry, like, oh, this is so bad, like Stranger Things. It was more like I'm genuinely enraged by what is happening right now. What is happening
Yeah,
right now? I
pretty
don't
much.
understand what is happening right now. This is too far. So if Captain Planet can walk the line and like stay on the fun side of bad,
Yeah,
sure.
exactly. Yeah, like I don't want it to be like that Don Cheadle skit where it's just him saying curse words. Like I want like dark and gritty, and I want to see Captain Planet put his hand through some CEO's chest. Like I want it to just be he just fights a shameless, thinless metaphor for Donald Trump, and he puts his hand through his chest, and it's
Either
really
that
violent
or either that or
because
I
I think
want
it
it to
would be
be
funny.
Either that or I want it to be the most campy thing you've ever seen.
Oh
Like
yeah,
full in that direction.
I mean,
Like
it would be kind of fun, yeah. I mean, yeah, there is a part of me that's like, yeah, make it earnestly 1980s, but nah. If you're gonna do this, you just go full bore. Make it the most violent thing you've ever seen. I think it would be super funny. So, Jordan, apparently, uh, I don't get the point in this, and you're not gonna get the point in this either. But off the back of, so obviously, Barbie, Margot Robbie's Barbie, made a butt ton of money. Like that's how they
right.
measured it. It was by the butt ton. Like it was so much money, made a ton of money. So naturally, Jordan, you're like, well, what do they do next? And my favorite bit of that was when they were like, um, Margot Robbie was like, well, we said all we had to say. We don't really need to make another one. And then they went, well, we'll make it without you. And she went, whoa, hold on. But supposedly there's an animated Barbie movie in development,
Hold on. You didn't let me finish. We don't need to, but we will.
but we will for money. For
We will for
money.
money. We will sell
Um,
out. It is Barbie.
But yeah, apparently they're making another Barbie movie, another
Of course,
theatrical one.
yeah.
But this
Of
one is
course they are.
animated, which like, all right, there's like 100 animated Barbie
There's
movies.
a
Like
lot of animated
that's
movies
all
and
right.
they don't go to theaters.
Unless it's like like in the Margot Robbie Barbie world, and she's gonna play Barbie. At that point, and the animation doesn't just look like every other direct to DVD Barbie movie. Then, all right, I really like that movie, so I thought that movie was funny, and I really like Margot Robbie. But like, all right, that seems like an odd choice. Oh, I just realized I forgot to send you a trailer.
I don't get it.
No, I don't get it either. Um, one of the
What's the
trailers.
trailer?
It was a movie called Fixed,
Oh,
and
never heard of it.
there's a 2D animated movie about a dog named Bull, and the trailer is just an animated. It's like an R-rated animated movie with dogs, and it opens with a dog humping grandma's leg. It's one of those kind of movies. It's basically like right in line with what we're talking about this week.
Sounds bad.
It looked bad. Jordan, Grown Ups 3. Remember how Grown Ups?
Oh,
Remember how we watched Grown Ups 2 once?
I think I did it for this show.
Did you actually? I don't actually remember. Anyway, Kevin James is
Or I
confirmed.
did the first one for this show.
I definitely did the first one. I think we both did the first one. Um, Jordan, Kevin Smith, not Kevin Smith. Kevin James has said that something is happening with Grown Ups 3, and I'm like, all right, that sounds fun.
Something's happening. Like
They might be
they're
making it.
making it.
They might be making it. Yeah.
Oh no!
I know.
I don't remember. I don't remember the second one being as good as the first one.
I don't remember the second one. I just know that I've watched it. I don't remember a thing about it. Not a thing.
I mean, it's really just an excuse for Adam Sandler and his friends to hang out. So,
right?
That's all those movies have ever been.
And hey, that's fine. Apparently,
So, you know,
and
whatever.
like this just goes to show, yeah, I really don't remember. I don't remember the second one. Apparently, Rob Schneider's not in it.
Yeah, I don't think he was in the second one.
No, I don't remember it enough to tell you whether or not he was. All I know is that he's
I can't be
supposedly
bothered
not
to
in
look
it,
it up.
and I cannot be bothered to look it up. Sorry, I'm just share. Done. There we go. What is our next story? So I realized I forgot to share the link, so I was just sharing the link while you were talking. But it has thrown me off my groove. Oh yeah, Clayface.
You've thrown off the co-host groove.
Sorry. Jordan. New plot details have emerged for that Clayface movie where they announced the star. It wasn't Daniel Radcliffe. It was some other guy who I've never heard of.
So it's disappointing, is what you're gonna say.
I don't know. I'm always.
I'm joking. I don't know what that guy is like. He might be very satisfying.
So it seems like.
But he's no Daniel Radcliffe. So.
It seems like it's gonna kind of be an amalgamation of a bunch of different Clayfaces. So what sources tell Nexus Point News is that Hagen is a handsome up-and-coming actor who's attacked and disfigured. Originally from Gotham, he moves to Hollywood to escape his troubled past and begin his career as an actor. With his disfigurement, his career and outlet as an actor ruined, and is eventually transformed into a shape-shifting monster. The article also mentions that a brand new character named Dr. Caitlin Bates will be part of the Clayface movie. Bates is the CEO of a biotech startup seeking to create cutting-edge medicine and medical technology. Bates sees Hagen as a way to grow her company and cure his condition.
This is a horror movie, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think that's the premise. Yeah, okay. I don't know, man. This is just giving me Craven, Morbius, Madam Web. Me being
a Batman-less Batman villain movie.
Batman-less Batman movie. Yeah, this is in the same vein as those Sony Spider-Man movies, and I just don't know.
And this is supposed to be in the DC universe.
Yeah. No, I think it's going to be an Elseworld story, or maybe he hasn't confirmed yet, because technically speaking, Clayface has shown up on Creature Commandos.
Interesting. I don't know. Whatever. Let them cook.
Yeah. We will watch them with great interest. Jordan. Finally, the final story
I think you've sent me a trailer for it before, didn't you? And it looked fine.
For
Clayface.
Oh no, they haven't. No, nothing. They haven't started filming it yet.
Oh, I thought you did.
No, not yet. No, not yet. Jordan, finally.
Oh, we'll let them cook, and we'll see what the trailer looks like.
Jordan, before I tell you this last story, what do I always say about cliffhangers, Jordan?
That you love them and you wish more movies had them.
Let's try this again, Jordan. What do I always say about cliffhangers, Jordan?
That you despise them and you wish that people would stop using them.
Jordan, that they are what, Jordan?
Lazy? Unearned?
Unacceptable, Jordan.
Unacceptable. I mean, I basically said the right thing the second time.
They are unacceptable, Jordan. And you want to know why, Jordan? Because they've once again pushed Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse.
Of course they did.
Pushed the release date by
I thought it got canceled.
3 weeks. No, it got put on indefinite hiatus, I think.
Yeah, canceled.
And then they came out and they said the new release date. And they were like, no, it's back on now. So it's been pushed back by 3 weeks. So now it's coming out June 25th, 2027. Jordan, you will note, not the year they said it would. And I've got a lot of people giving me shit being like, well, animation takes a long time and you should... Yes, then you shouldn't have ended your movie on a fucking cliffhanger. On a brutal
Well, you definitely shouldn't end it on a cliffhanger when it had an ending. I mean, it had an ending. You chose not to. I don't remember what the ending was at this point off the top of my head, but it definitely had one, and you could have used it.
And you could have used it. You could have used it. I wanted to use the silent.
Should have. Should have used it.
Should have used it. But yeah, so it's been delayed yet again. Jordan, that's the news. Hit the news thing. Oh, apparently that was too much. That cut out the Zoom.
It just became screaming.
Yeah, no, that straight up just cut out. We've pushed the limits as to what Zoom can handle. It can handle more than Discord, but it can't handle that much. Today's
God.
show is really unfortunately only for our local cats, people who live locally. Our good friends at Wild Education next weekend are doing an open house to help raise money to help them move. We've advertised them before. They're doing a special open house where you can go hang out with snakes and turtles and all sorts of creatures and critters, and you can help them out and help support them so that they can take care of animals. And don't you want to take care of animals, Jordan?
Think of the animals.
Won't you think of the animals?
Think of the animals.
I have linked in the description the event, not the event page, but their Facebook page. They had a post on Facebook, so you can go check that out. Click it in the description. Unfortunately, a lot of our audience is American. You guys, unless you come to Canada, you can't go. But if you're local, you should go check it out. It's a really
They
good
might be
cause.
able to. The American audience might be able to go to the GoFundMe and
That's
help.
true. That is also, if you go to their Facebook, you'll see the GoFundMe, and you can help them out there. I don't have the video set up today, so we can't watch that. But yeah, go check it out. It's really fun. It'll be real fun, really cool. They're really cool people. They're really nice.
Won't someone think of the animals?
Won't you think of the animals, folks? Think of those animals.
Sorry, I got very emotional there.
He cares about the animals. He cares about them. So on today's show, everyone. Last week when I watched Quest for Camelot. I got in my brain I wanted to watch real bad and obscure animated stuff, movies, television things, stuff that you, as discussed at the top of the show, you've probably never heard of. I mean, you might have heard of it. There's a chance you might have heard of it, but the chance is probably better that you haven't. Just saying. Yeah. So, Jordan, with that, what is your first random animated thing?
Rapid fire. So before I start, I want to say bad is an interesting term.
Yeah, mine is a sliding scale of crap.
Well, it's also just like for some of them, the story isn't necessarily bad, but like the animation doesn't do it for me.
I know what you mean.
Whereas in others, it's like the animation is okay, but the story might not be there. So bad is a loose term. Also, some of what I chose, I don't know. Like that was kind of an interesting thing here, where it was like I don't necessarily think it's bad. So that'll be a fun aspect to this as well. And then also some of them I picked not because they were bad, but because I thought they were weird. So it will be fun. I'm going to play a game here where I'm going to get you to guess what you thought I thought each was.
Bad.
So to start off with, we go with Romeo and Juliet, which is just Romeo and Juliet with garden gnomes.
Garden gnomes. And Jordan, and also set to the music of Elton John for some reason.
Because he was a producer.
I know he was. It's really weird.
I believe anyway he was a producer.
It's really weird.
Yeah, he was. He was. So like they have multiple Elton John songs. They have the Crocodile Rock, except it's like with gnomes.
You've got Jason Statham, but he's a gnome. You've got James McAvoy, but he's a gnome.
You've got actually kind of a surprising cast list, actually.
It does kind of a surprising cast list.
So yeah, you got James McAvoy as Romeo, Emily Blunt as Juliet. I'm not going to read them all, but like one of the weirder ones that I was like, really? Because I never knew, and that was what I said at the start of the show when I was reading this, was, so I don't know if you've ever seen this movie, but there's a miniature deer statue character who is Tybalt's best friend. He's played by Ozzy Osbourne.
That's funny.
Also, one of the gnomes is Dolly Gnome, is played by Dolly Parton.
That's funny.
And there's a lot of characters, a lot of people. Hulk Hogan is an announcer.
Yeah,
so there's just a number of characters, and so it's like bad. Is it bad? It's unoriginal. It's not necessarily breaking any new ground, but I'd sit my kids in front of this movie to watch. So that's the target audience.
Right?
Is
Oh yeah, yeah, right.
bad, right? Like that's where I say,
Oh no, see Jordan, see there's no ambiguity with
uh,
there's no ambiguity here. There's no ambiguity. There's no ambiguity. But also some of these I will agree with you. Some of mine are like honestly, I remember like these taking a cultural drubbing. Like and honestly this is quite a bit better than I remember it being. But
I don't know what they call. Hold on, let's actually see what the reception was to this. Let's see what other people
I believe
thought.
it's one of those like was one of those it's not
Critical
it did
critical
okay. I
response.
remember it doing okay. Like people were like, it's all right. That's
On okay, so on Rotten Tomatoes, it holds an approval rating of 55%,
yeah, yeah. It's all
which
right.
yeah, it's fine,
It's
you
not
know?
Disney or DreamWorks. As
No.
far as bad like second string bottom of the shelf animated movies are
It's on
concerned.
the higher
It's
end of
on
the
the higher
list,
end
you
of that.
know?
I will say I do recall the animation being really cheap and stuttery. Like the frame rate on it is bad. I remember that. I remember all the characters
Yeah,
moving
that sort of
weirdly.
thing either bothers you or it doesn't. There was worse animation that I disapproved of
Oh,
more.
for sure, for sure. No, no, yeah. This
So
just to give you a full bore spoiler. This list has not only the worst animated movie I've ever seen of my life, but probably one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. The worst movie I've ever
ooh.
seen is it's forever gonna be Birth of a Nation. Nothing will ever beat Birth of a Nation. Just so you know, any movie out there, it would take a lot to be worse than Birth of a Nation. It's pretty close
That's pretty fair. So
though.
yeah, that's Romeo and Juliet. So Justin, what do you think I thought?
I mean, Jordan, I think you thought it was all right. It was okay.
Yeah.
It was harmless. Jordan, have you ever seen the movie? Let me ask you this, Jordan. Let me ask you this one time as we jump into this next segment, and before I tell the audience what the segment is. Have you ever seen the movie, or are you familiar with the boat, the Titanic?
Yes.
You're aware, Jordan. Have you ever watched the James Cameron movie, Jordan? Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this one time. Have you ever watched the James Cameron movie and said to yourself, but what if this were an animated movie that was also a musical and had talking animals? And had a happy
I
ending?
I, I can honestly say that I before this week when maybe we should like tag team this one, but before this
I just
week I
assumed
had
you would
never
do yours after mine.
I had never thought this, I can say.
So, Jordan, Titanic, The Legend Goes On, is I think I am going to pull up. I think I am going to bring up the. No, I won't. I'll do this. I'm going to free ball this one. Titanic, The Legend Goes On, Jordan, is an Italian-made animated movie about exactly what it sounds like, the sinking of the Titanic. And Jordan, it is, without exaggeration, one of the most incredible movies I've ever seen in my life. Like, like the amount of things, not even just things, Jordan, the amount of Disney movies this movie rips off is it's incredible. So within the first, like, I'm not exaggerating, 5 minutes, it rips off Cinderella. So she's got the main character is a woman who, or one of the main characters is a woman who has an evil stepmother and three evil stepsisters, and then the evil stepmother has a cat, like an anthropomorphic cat, that is literally the evil cat from Cinderella. And then it also rips off, was it Cinderella? It rips off
So
101 Dalmatians. It rips off Fievel Goes West, an American Tale, because there are Jewish mice that are on the Titanic to go to America.
so I have a question.
And then
This is
ultimately,
this is more for me question. Who was it distributed by?
that's an excellent question. Okay, I guess I will pull up the Titanic or the.
Because I'm curious because ours are very similar in a
Um,
lot of ways, and I'm curious.
And so yeah, so there's also also it also rips off Sherlock Holmes because there's a Sherlock Holmes character that just randomly shows up, and because obviously this is the Titanic and it came out in the year 2000, it needs to rip off the James Cameron movie. So there is a character who he is technically the Jack Dawson character, but he's the rich one. It was distributed by Medusa Film.
Interesting. It's not the same one.
Oh, how interesting. Was yours made in Italy though? Is yours Italian?
Mine was a multi-country production.
Oh, see, mine is Italian. It's
I'll
very
tell
much
you
made in
more about
Italian.
mine after.
Um. Yeah. So there's a bunch of. Oh yeah. So yeah, it also rips off 101 Dalmatians. So there's two talking Dalmatians who are about to give birth, and there's two characters who are they're jewel thieves, and they're just the thugs from 101 Dalmatians, and also there's a rapping dog.
Yeah, you sent me the video
The,
of
the
that.
dog raps, Jordan.
The
dog
it
raps.
was an experience.
The dog raps. And it is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. There is otherwise no musical numbers in the movie before that. There's no musical numbers after it. Not really. Like one character kind of sings a song, but it kind of happens off screen. It's not really a dedicated musical number. And for most of the movie, it's like, yeah, it's shenanigans about like, there's a jewel thief and there's a Sherlock Holmes character that's trying to find the jewel thief. And the rapping dog is tasked various working animals on the ship to help them find it. Yeah, in the meantime, there's the two characters who are just Jack and Rose. Sorry, I'm just familiarizing myself with the plot of this. Oh yeah, and so then it's like there's like not like I think like 10 minutes left in the movie. It's animated terribly. It kind of looks like you remember that? I don't remember what the system is called. Remember like the Wand of Gamelon?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like one of those games. It's like the cut scenes, like the pacing of the dialogue, how the characters say lines, the way it's animated, the way the characters move. It looks like it was a Titanic game. Like these were cut scenes for a Titanic game for that system. That's what it looks like. That they've just cut together. So then finally it gets to the end. Oh yeah, so the big driving force of the one girl is she's trying to find her mom. That's why she wants to go to America so she can find her mother. And so the Titanic within the last 10 minutes of the movie sinks, and the Titanic is now sinking, and that's now the drama of the movie. And they all escape, and a bunch of the characters, like one of the guy, he like is trying to get to put the girl in the boat. He jumps in the water to swim, and none of them freeze to death. They're all swimming in it like it's perfectly fine, even though that water they would have all frozen to death.
Oh, it's just a little tepid. It's not so bad.
And it also does the myth that when people were around the Titanic when it was sinking, they didn't want to get too close to save people because they were worried it would pull them under, and that's a myth that never happened. And so it continues to perpetuate that myth as well. But at the end, the main guy, he gets dragged. He's like his leg gets wrapped in a rope and he gets dragged down. And you're like, help me, whatever. And the girl is in a boat with this random woman. I think she was, because this movie obviously failed the phone test. I think she might have been in the movie earlier. But this random old woman is like, are you such and such? And she's like, yeah. She's like, oh, I'm your mother, dear. It's like, wait, what? I had to pause the movie to be like, go back. What? So this random woman in this boat is just your mom? What? And she reveals that the Jack, the love interest who you think is dead, is actually the kid that she's been nannying for her whole life. So they're actually connected that way. And then they're all happy. And then the mouse, the Jewish mouse, is like, he's like, ooh, you're probably wondering what happened to everybody else. It's like, no, I'm not. I'm not whatsoever. Not wondering at all. I'm not even remotely. And then he goes character by character, an epilogue for every single character, and it makes the movie an additional 5 minutes long. It's like, no.
Sounds painful.
I have no interest in any. It it was truly mind-boggling. Again, it rips off so many things. Some of the music is okay. It was bizarre, and I thought it was going to be the worst thing I watched this week. That's it. Jordan, tell me about your Titanic movie now.
So,
Also, the YouTube video is called "The Weird Bad Animated Titanic Movies." By the way,
I mean, that makes sense.
I figured it would.
So, my Titanic movie came out in 1999. It was an internationally co-produced animated fantasy film, which I didn't know, but makes a lot of sense. And which is in and of itself fascinating, because it was an international effort between North Korea's state-owned SEK for animation, Spanish ITB, and American Hollywood Gang as producers, as well as an...
Time out. Stop. Did you just say North Korea?
I did say North Korea. As well as an Italian writing team and composer.
Oh, so it is Italian. Yeah, it does come from
Italy.
It
is at least partially Italian.
What is with the Italians and wanting to make Titanic movies? That's weird. That's so weird.
Deeply sanitized Titanic movies.
Yeah, where all the characters live in the end.
So yeah, this in some cases inexplicably. This came out in 1999, which is baffling to me.
But I should say the guy who he gets dragged down in my movie, he also is inexplicably alive at the end. Just to be clear.
Of course he is.
Just to be clear.
So if you want to watch this one, it's on YouTube for free. So you can absolutely...
Oh yeah, mine is too. Sorry, mine is too. I should have mentioned that. Yeah.
You can absolutely go check it out.
Do yourself a favor. Go watch it. It's amazing. Like, they're amazing. They're genuinely amazing. In that they're terrible. Like, they're not good movies.
I'm gonna do a very rapid...
I assume anyway.
I'm sorry, what? Huh. That's odd. So apparently this movie was followed by a 2004 sequel titled Tentacolino and a 2011 television series, Fantasy Island.
What?
Which, okay.
How do you do a sequel to the Titanic?
I'm not gonna. We'll talk. I'll figure that out later. Let's talk about this one first.
So many questions.
So, movie starts. We have Old Mouse. He's telling his grandchildren the supposedly true story of the RMS Titanic, because his children were playing with a shark whistle. And he was like, don't do that because it could summon Mr. Ice. And then he tells them about it. And it starts with the young mouse, Connors, the grandpa, he's a sailor on the Titanic's maiden voyage, yada, yada, yada. There's a young Brazilian mouse named Ronnie who likes soccer. He befriends Connor, yada, yada, yada. And then at the same time, there's a tiger shark, Mr. Ice, who he has escaped from prison, and he's asked to arrange the destruction of the ship. Also in this movie, there are human characters who there's just the Jack and the Rose character who, are there.
Yeah, because it's Titanic and you need to have a Jack and a Rose character.
And can talk to animals.
Inexplicably talk to... Yeah, that makes sense. Does yours have a rapping dog, though?
No, it does not. There's also a certain point where the
just gonna
Rose
put the dog
character...
rapping somewhere in this, probably more than once, because it's funny.
There's a certain point where the Rose character talks to dolphins, and then she seems to be able to talk to the other animals. So I don't remember, and I can't be bothered to try and figure out if it was the dolphins were magic and gave her the ability. But like at a certain point, the two human main characters are just able, and so like the main guy, the Jack character, has a dog who does talk and talks to him, and like the rest of the humans don't seem to know that the animals can talk, because there's a point where at the end of the movie where Rose and Jack, because I can't be bothered to remember their actual characters' names, are getting married,
It's
and
just
the
Rose
dog
and
leans
Jack,
in.
Jordan.
The dog leans in to talk to Jack, and like other humans are watching it and are like, "Wow, it's like it can actually talk. Like it's like he actually understands it." So it's like, I think just they understand the animals. But so yeah, there's the Rose's stepmom is like an evil stepmom who wants to marry Rose off to
Wow,
this other dude
these sound
who
shockingly similar.
who she
You're
like is
sure we didn't
actually.
watch the same movie, right?
I am. Let me finish. Um, yeah, his mom or her mom wants to marry her off to this dude, and then, but she's also like partnered with the dude, and then they were gonna off the dad so that they all got rich. But then Rose is like, I don't love him. I love my guy, Jack here, Jack. And
Jack. I
then
love you, Jack. Never let go,
so
Jack.
so then evil dude who is the same, you remember the evil dude from the actual Titanic movie
Yes.
who wanted, yeah, it's just
Yes, I
him.
do.
Um
It's
and
just
and
him.
so and so he's like, Daddy Warbucks, sign this contract which signs all your stuff over to me or
That
else.
guy from
And
Titanic.
so then they do, and then the evil human characters get the Tiger Shark gang, including Mr. Ice, to trick the lovable young kid octopus character named Tentacles to throw an iceberg
Jordan, this
so
sounds
that
bad.
it was very bad,
Jordan,
so that it accidentally hits the Titanic and sinks it.
what?
And so meanwhile, earlier in the movie,
Wait,
the
wait,
main
stop. Go back. Go
the
back.
main
Go
no,
back.
we'll get there. We'll get
But
there. Hold on. I need
you
to.
just said an
No,
octopus.
just hold on,
You
hold on.
just said an
Hold
octopus
on.
caused the
Hold on.
Titanic to sink. You
Hold
cannot just
hold-
skip past that.
No,
You're
we're
skipping
skipping.
past an
We're skipping
octopus.
back.
An
We're
octopus.
jumping back. We're jumping back
I'm
because I
so
missed a point.
confused. What is
We're jumping
happening?
back. I'm gonna get back to it. We're jumping back because I missed a thing that I need to set up for a later plot point. So earlier in the movie, the evil humans were gonna send off a telegram, and the two rat characters cut the wire to the telegram so that the telegram doesn't get set up. Now we can go back to the octopus.
This is a talking octopus.
Yes.
He caused the Titanic to sink.
He gets challenged by Mr. Ice. He's supposed to be like a kid, is the idea. Like he's supposed to be like a young,
Causing the
innocent
death
kid.
of countless of thousands of
Is the
people.
idea. So he's easily trickable. So Mr. Ice is like, I bet you can't toss a bigger ice block than I can. And so they start competing, and then it gets to the point where there's the giant one, and Mr. Ice tricks him into throwing it, and it causes
Yeah,
the sinking of the
this is
Titanic.
definitely a different movie. No, an octopus didn't sink the Titanic in my movie. Jordan,
And
I need you to
and
stop. I just we need to move on. We need to move
I
on.
just need to get to the point where it's at the end, and so you think that the octopus dies, and you think that there's this one mouse character who tries to like make it so that they can use the uh the the thing again by connecting his wires to the two electric wires and using himself as a conduit and electrocuting himself and definitely dying. There's no way he survived that.
There's
And yet he's
no.
somehow inexplicably alive at the end. And they all live happily ever after. Even the captain of the Titanic, who
Wait,
they
what?
all survive. He gets lifted off the ship by the octopus before he dies, so they just all survive.
So,
Everyone survives.
what?
Every single one.
What? But
Not one person dies,
you
Justin.
mean the tragic story of the Titanic? Not a single one.
Not nearly as tragic as you think, because that's the fake story. The tragic story that you know is the fake story, Justin. This is what actually happened. They all lived.
I don't really. Wow. All
Oh,
right.
and it ends on a real happy note. And I have to button nose it with this because it's just I'm sorry, but what? Back in modern day New York, old Connors tells his grandchildren that whales are still hunted and they must do whatever they can to stop the whaling scheme at all costs. because the kids are like, oh, well, since the bad people that were doing all the whaling were lost at sea and probably died, that means that whaling's no longer a thing, right? And the grandpa's like, no, other humans just took it up. It
Da, da,
still
da,
exists.
da, da,
We have to
da.
protect the whales. It's a message.
It's a metaphor. So Jordan,
No, it's not a metaphor. It's a message.
Jordan, Jordan.
That's the legend of the Titanic. Free on YouTube. You too can experience
Oh yeah, Titanic: The Legend Goes On. It's also on YouTube.
this
It's
uh
very worth it.
this
They're
experience.
short and they're worth watching because they're awful and they're hilarious. Jordan, Jordan, you remember a little movie called A Bug's Life?
I do.
We're not talking about that. We're in fact talking about its cousin, its sister, a movie that people often conflate because of their similarities, and that's Ants. And quite honestly,
Ants.
Ants is honestly not really all that similar to A Bug's Life. Like it is similar. Don't get me wrong. Like it is similar to A Bug's Life. It is about a bug who is on the lower end of the scale who falls in love with the princess. Like at that level it is, but in terms of characterizations and how like the story plays out, quite honestly, it's more similar to B movie. Like the main ant guy, he's a neurotic guy who the movie opens up with. He's in therapy and they're telling him that he's a meaningless kind of nothing of an ant and nobody cares. And it's about him, like he swaps places with his friend who's played by Sylvester Stallone, played by Sylvester Stallone, I believe.
I think so.
Yeah, and they swap places. So Sylvester Stallone goes off and he becomes a digger, and Woody Allen becomes an army guy. It's kind of similar to the B movie in that regard. And instead of the bad guy being an evil grasshopper, it's another ant, I don't know what to call, genocidal maniac of a man who has commissioned the building of a tunnel so that he can kill, as he sees it, all of the weak people in the hive. So big twist, he's gonna make it so they dig through and they dig into a lake and it drowns all the workers, and he can take a special elite force of like worker ants and build a new colony with the queen who he's supposed to be married by. And this movie is kind of like it's kind of the start a little bit of, hey, let's just get famous people to be in animated movies. But the most interesting thing about this movie is its story, because like as much as it's been said that it's a knockoff of Ants, it isn't. And so this movie is goes all the way back to 1988. It was originally pitched as a movie called Army Ants. And when Jeffrey Katzenberg, when he got into a feud with Michael Eisner and left, he took this movie with him. And he was on the phone. He sort of retained a relationship with John Lasseter. And John Lasseter told him what would become A Bug's Life. And so he rushed this into production so they can make it right away, so this would come out before A Bug's Life. And John Lasseter got super mad, and it basically destroyed their friendship. And because Jeffrey Katzenberg is so petty, he actively chose to put it up against A Bug's Life. And it's really funny because history remembers A Bug's Life more than this. Nobody remembers this. And this, quite honestly, I haven't seen A Bug's Life in a while, is honestly pretty good. It's honestly funny. There's a lot of jokes that like legit made me laugh. It is ugly and horrendous, and the thing that's funny about it is it's way better than I remember. I remember hating this movie as a kid.
So, okay, here's my counterpoint to that. Bug's Life is a kids movie. It's softer, it's rounder, it's made to appeal to kids. The story is simpler. It's a kids movie, and that's why it won. This is like, this comes across like it was meant for kids. But yeah, you're an adult. If you like the jokes, if you think the
Yeah,
jokes
I
are,
remember hating this as a
then
kid.
it's not for
I
kids.
absolutely remember hating this. So,
So that's why it failed.
um,
Because at the time, especially at the time, anything animated had to be for kids.
okay, here's the story. Um,
Am I wrong?
you're not wrong. Uh, okay, Katzenberg. When the trades indicated that the production of Ants. Oh, sorry, I gotta go back a little bit here. Let's go back a bit. He called. Oh yeah, he called Katzenberg. When Katzenberg asked what they were doing next, Lasseter described what would become A Bug's Life in detail. Lasseter respected Katzenberg's judgment and felt comfortable using him as a sounding board for creative ideas. Lasseter had hopes for Toy Story, and he was telling friends throughout the tight-knit computer animation business to get cracking on their own films. Blah blah blah. When the trades indicated that production on Ants, Lasseter, feeling betrayed, called Katzenberg and asked him if it was true, who in turn asked him whether he had heard the rumor. Lasseter asked again, and Katzenberg admitted that it was true. Lasseter raised his voice and would not believe Katzenberg's story that a development director had pitched him the idea long ago. Katzenberg claims that Ants came from a 1991 story pitch by Tim Johnson that just was similar, was related. Lasseter, who does not use profane language, cursed at Katzenberg and hung up the phone. Lasseter recalling that Katzenberg said that Disney was out to get him and felt that he was cannon fodder. Blah 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 blah. Skipping through this. Oh yes, so I don't know if you know this. Steve Jobs used to be part of Pixar. And so, sorry, hold on. Yeah, at the time this movie came out, Disney studio executives were starting a bitter, competitive rivalry with Jeffrey Katzenberg and his new DreamWorks films. As the release for both films approached, Disney executive concluded that Pixar should keep quiet on Ants and the feud concerning DreamWorks. That's what it was. Lasseter publicly dismissed Ants as a schlock version of A Bug's Life, which stuck because that's what everyone sees it as. Everyone knows it as this like a Bug's Life knockoff, which it really isn't. It's really not that similar. And I remember it being negatively received, and it wasn't. It's got like an 86% on Rotten Tomatoes. It is honestly quite
Solid.
Yeah, it's quite solid. They're not really all that similar. But yeah, there's a lot of violence. Like there's characters die. One guy just straight up gets his head ripped off. Says yeah, the final product of both films are generally perceived to contrast one another in tone and certain plot points. Ants in the end seemed to succeed more with older audiences, whereas Bug's Life was more family friendly, which is why I think A Bug's Life has probably stuck it out more culturally, which I think is interesting.
Well, that's where I say, especially because back in the day, animation was for kids.
Yeah,
there wasn't really there was just this perceived notion that if it was animated, it was for kids. So yeah, I think if you were to release Ants like today, animation aside, if you were to release that kind of movie today, it would be way more well received than it was back in the day.
I think. I don't know, because I think I think that's what B movie was. It was like a modern day Ants.
No, I just mean that kind of movie.
Gotcha. Yeah,
like what it was going for.
I don't disagree.
Because like, it had the unfortunate result of because it was released even in the same year as Bug Life. Because you had the kiddie version, it got lumped in with that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
And it was never that.
Yeah.
It's not a kids movie.
No, it's really not.
I don't think it's a kids movie. There's way too many jokes in there, and there's the whole he gets sent off to war thing and like to a termite mound or whatever I think it is.
Yeah, they go to attack a termite mound.
And one of the guys ends up coming back as just a head or something, or he sees a guy with just a head. That's not a kid-friendly
Yeah,
thing that you
absolutely.
show.
He straight
That's
up dies in front of him. He dies in his arms. Yeah, you see them get slaughtered by these termites. It's really quite
so
violent.
no. I argue that this was never a kids' movie, and to compare it to Bug's Life is not a fair
No, I
comparison.
don't think it is either. It's just so funny to me that it does. Like everyone always saw ants as like those straight to DVD shovel like
Yeah,
they
I mean,
just
I did for years. I
yeah
saw it as a knockoff version of A
yeah.
Bug's Life. It was,
I've never, but it's all again. It's honestly
or
it's a
not even like a knockoff. Like it was trying to ride the coattails of A Bug's
yes
Life.
absolutely. But no, it was way better than I remembered it being. The rest of this is a sliding scale of crap from the next few of these. So those are the most nice things you're gonna hear for the next little while. That's it. That's ants.
So, okay,
Ants. Do you want ants?
this is how we get
This
ants.
is how we get ants.
My next one is yet again on YouTube for free, so you too can go and check out this movie. Um, but it was a movie called Raggedy Ann and Andy, a musical adventure,
Yeah.
which came out in 1977.
Yeah, they were
So
very popular in the 70s.
when 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 I talk about the animation and how I feel about it, just know that I understand this is probably a me thing, and there is some generation of people who love this movie.
Oh,
Um,
oh for sure. Oh, for sure. I'm sure there are.
this is an example of a movie where I don't think it's bad inherently. I don't
Is
like.
it is it
I
that a
like
thing
the
bad
story,
though?
huh?
Do people think it's bad?
I don't know what other people think. I picked it because I thought the animation was bad.
Oh, fair. Fair enough.
I don't like the animation in this. Um, but again, I know that that's probably a me thing. Um, it was funny enough. This was a theatrically released movie. Um, hold on, let's see what the reception was.
Really?
Initial
I guess
release.
1970s straight to DVD isn't really a thing.
And upon its initial release, it received mixed reviews. Funny enough, it was praised for its animation, voice cast, and songs. Um, I just don't love the animation. I think it's a little bit, yeah, not. I don't love it, but so apparently, this is a very loose adaptation of one of the novels.
Oh,
Um,
all right then.
Raggedy from 1924 novel. It's loosely adapted from the 1924 novel Raggedy Ann and Andy and the camel with the wrinkled knees, which yeah, that character is absolutely in this, so I see that. But very
How wrinkled are
briefly,
those knees though?
fairly.
Pretty wrinkled.
Very briefly, there's a little girl. She has a bunch of toys. You ever seen Toy Story?
Yes.
This is Toy Story
Yes, I
before
have.
Toy Story
I have seen-
existed.
Sorry, that felt like a
In
trick question.
No, have you, audience? If you've seen Toy
I
Story,
feel like most people have seen
you-
Toy Story.
you've seen this to some degree, um, except the big difference is unlike Woody, Raggedy Ann is very accepting of the new toy
Oh, I
and
thought you
wants
were-
to be her
I
friend.
thought you were gonna be
And
unlike
the
Woody.
new
Raggedy
the
Ann is
new
a bitch.
the new toy, no, completely the opposite. In this,
It's a
the
real
new
bitch.
toy is the one that's the problem. But so okay.
I mean,
Um,
one could argue that Buzz Lightyear is a problem.
One could argue that, not the point. In this movie, yeah, there's a kid. She gets a new toy. It's her birthday. She gets a new toy. Her new toy is a doll from France called, what was it? Babette? Baby?
Babette.
Babette. Which I think is French for baby, so that makes sense.
Does make sense.
And the little girl also has a snow globe, which has a pirate in it. And then, so the stuff that has the little girl is live action, and then it transforms into animation whenever she leaves, and it's just them.
Interesting.
So that's where I say, like, there's not stuff. This movie is not devoid of things to like. I just don't like the animation.
I just
Um,
don't like it.
um, so there's a captain on a ship which is in a snow globe. They help him escape from the snow globe because he's like, help me, or whatever. He tricks Anne into freeing him. Then he kidnaps Babette, leaps out the nursery window, and Anne and Andy go to rescue Babette. And then, you know, the movie
And
happens.
then it happens.
I'm not going to go plot by plot detail of this because most of it is just songs to the point of the video that I watched on YouTube. You know how YouTube can have chapters?
Yeah.
It had it chaptered into the songs.
That's funny.
Um,
That is funny.
and as for the voice cast, there's only one person that I know that you know that I'm looking at here. I'm just looking real quick. Yeah, there's really only one. And you know that she's on Shining Time Station. She's in Grease.
Yeah.
Dee Khan.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah. I don't know her by name, but I know who you're talking about.
She's Raggedy Ann.
Oh.
So that was distracting for me. And then one of the nice touches is that each of the toys that you see in the animation, there is actually like, so at a spoiler alert, at the end of the movie, the camel ends up back in the room with them, because his whole thing is that he's been looking for a home, yada yada yada, not important. But he ends up back in the room with them, and then the very end of the movie, it goes back to live action, and you see the human girl again. She comes into the room and sees the camel and hugs him, and so they have like actual practical versions of each of the toys that you saw
Neat.
in anime. So there's now a live action version of the camel, which she hugs and accepts him and loves him, and it's really cute and it's really sweet. The guy who made this, I believe he's a famous one. I believe. I think he made The Prince and the Cobbler. Richard Williams.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was the one who worked on this. And so his big thing with this was, and this is where I understand why the animation looks the way that it was, because his big thing was that he wanted it to look distinctly different from Disney.
Oh yeah.
And it does. It does. So yeah.
Is that it for
That's Raggedy Ann and Andy, a musical adventure.
A musical adventure. Okay.
Free on YouTube now.
Okay, so this next movie, Jordan, is it's incredible. It's incredible. This movie's bad, okay? Just up front, it's a bad movie. It's a bad movie. It's not a good movie. But its existence is admirable. It's a movie Now, okay, I'm going to be clear. I only picked this because I bought this movie on DVD when I was in my, like, early 20s, and I thought it was really funny. I am now in my mid-30s, and I no longer think it's funny. But when I was like, what is a weird and bad animation? It was the first thing that popped in my head. It wasn't the first thing that popped in my head, but it was one of the first things that popped in my head. It's a movie called Jake's Booty Call. Wow, you didn't cringe nearly enough. Let's do this again. Jake's Booty Call.
Oh, no!
That wasn't really what I was looking for. But anyway, this movie, okay, this is a movie. It is based on a Flash animation game by the same name. Came out in 2003, straight to DVD. It was self-produced by the website that the original Flash animation cartoon came from, the romp.com. And it has the original voice actor who plays the character, produced it, wrote it. And it is produced... National Lampoon picked it up and put it out. It was independently distributed. They took it to universities and played it. And it is also produced by Michael Eisner's son.
Really?
Yeah. No, it blew my mind. Michael Eisner has seen this movie, and he called it, quote...
Bad?
It was met with amusement. So here's the plot of this thing. So Jake is...
Plot is a very loose term in this case.
He's a pickup artist loser guy who says really bad pickup lines and picks up women, and all the women, not all the women love, but women love him. That's the whole thing. He picks up, and the thing I appreciated about this movie was that he doesn't always land. Like, there's a scene where it's just him just failing at getting women, and I did appreciate that. That it's like, yeah, this shit barely works. It barely works, but it occasionally works. But it barely works. And so he, while in the middle of trying to pick up a particular blonde woman, runs into a Indian fellow, and because the blonde woman is with a friend, and she's like, I won't do anything unless you get me a friend, get my friend a date. And so he goes and finds this Indian fellow who he fails with the woman, and it turns out that he is a Indian prince, or a prince from a country that is basically India, called Sitan Manaba. And Jordan, I need to take a moment, Jordan, to go through the characters in this movie, because they are all, and I don't know if this is gonna, I don't know, I feel like it will just kind of give you an indication of the kind of movie this is. So these are the characters, Jordan. These are the best characters. So you've got, as previously discussed, hold on. Here we go. Okay, sorry. In order, we got Sitan Manaba, or Likapon Manaba, his evil twin brother. Because the plot of this thing is Sitan Manaba is going to be king of this country. His father, Slava Manaba, is giving up the king, and before he becomes king, Sitan Manaba wants to go and have sex. But his evil brother, Likapon Manaba, wants to use the evil Dilsak Unchin, the evil guy, to kill Sitan Manaba.
I need you to know this is hurting me. Every instance of this is physically causing me pain.
And of course, Jordan, there's the general, Gargaldes.
No.
Gargaldes, Jordan.
No, I'm not. We're not playing this game. No.
General Gargaldes, Jordan. It's that kind, and it's okay. I will say the other admirable thing about it is it is the first movie to be entirely animated in Flash. The Macromedia Flash. It uses cutting-edge animation and design.
How sad for you, Flash, to be remembered by this movie.
Right? Yeah, it's terrible. It's like, I'm sure like somebody is like, oh yeah, Jake is cool, but to me it's just this harrowing movie about this guy who like
who is harassing women and not leaving them alone.
He says these cringy lines that I'm like, I can't remember half of them. I wonder if hold on, let's see if I can. I don't remember.
I don't think we need to know.
I just want to see if I can find if the IMDb has any quotes. I don't think it does. Yeah, he says these horrible, terrible, corny lines that you're like, what woman would ever go for this? I don't understand it. And yeah, it's a harrowing movie about a guy who like transformed the seemingly nice guy into like an absolute monster who treats women like shit. The funniest scene is there's a random bit where they because the whole thing is Sitan Manaba is rich, and so they're traveling across the world, going to different places to find women. So like at one point they go to Las Vegas, another point they go to Tokyo, and at one point they're on Sitan Manaba's yacht, and the Likapon Manaba causes it to crash. And they wind up on this island, which it's unclear as to whether or not they're hallucinating or whether or not the animals, because there's a bunch of talking turtles or whatever, and the one rule is don't fuck Marilyn. That's the one rule, Jordan. Don't fuck Marilyn, and you'll never guess what Jake does, Jordan.
Respects the rule and continues on with his life.
Jordan, I think you know he fucks Marilyn.
Of course he does.
Marilyn turns into a evil vagina monster. Jordan, I told you it was a sliding scale of crap, and I was like, this is probably going to be the worst movie I watched this week.
Uh,
That's it for Jake's booty call. Ooh,
oh,
foreshadowing.
I'm in pain.
Jordan,
Okay.
that was some foreshadowing.
So
Jordan, that's
I
not
guess
even the beginning of the bad shit.
we'll move on to mine. Uh, so how do I attack?
Sit on my Naba.
You've derailed my thought process.
I know. I've done it intentionally.
So in 1968, and when this movie came out is important because it explains why it was very popular at the time.
I thought you said
Yellow
explains why it's very bad. No.
Yellow Submarine came out.
Oh yeah, I've never seen this movie.
Um, yeah.
It looks bad.
Okay. So, okay. It's really just an excuse for them to play the Beatles music.
Of course, that's what all of the movies
Um,
are.
yeah, but it's even worse in this one because the Beatles really wanted nothing to do with this.
Really?
This was just they had a three movie contract deal, and this was
Oh,
their
interesting.
way. This was their way of getting out of doing a third one because they're only in the final. They don't even voice the characters of the Beatles. They couldn't even be bothered to show up to a voice studio and voice the characters of this movie. They're voice actors that are playing the Beatles in this. They skirt the rules of having to do a third movie by showing up in the very last part of the movie as a live action cameo.
Really? I didn't know that. That's so funny.
Um,
Wait, I can't remember. I know obviously Yellow Submarine. Because I mean, to be fair, Hard Day's Night was the same thing. It was like that movie's 2/3 just Beatles music videos.
yeah, it was their last one was I don't know, but I just know that yeah, it said that they were development. Beatles were not enthusiastic about participating in a new motion picture, having been dissatisfied with their second feature film, Help,
That's funny.
directed by Richard Lester. They saw
Of
an anime.
course, it's directed by Richard Lester.
That's what Help was directed by Richard Lester.
That makes
Um,
sense.
However, they saw an animated film as a favorable way to complete their commitment to the United Artists for a third film.
To
Um,
technically get as close as they possibly could to fulfilling it without actually having to do anything.
Apparently, Let It Be in 1970 was not connected to the original three picture deal
That's
because everybody thought that this didn't fulfill the requirements and that's why they made that one, but apparently that was just a different thing. Anyways, this one. So uh there's the peaceful land of Pepperland, and then the blue meanies show up, and so the Pepperlandians send someone off to go and find the Beatles. I don't remember if they were specifically looking for the Beatles, but they find the Beatles
you need to
anyway.
find the
And then
Beatles.
it's really just a drug trip to get back to there and
They're
defeat
gonna
the Blue
remake this, by
Meanies.
the way. There's a bunch of concept art of they're gonna do a 3D version of this.
I heard that.
I would have watched
Um,
it.
I
Totally would have watched
so
it.
that's where I say I understand why this did well in the 60s when they were all on drugs. When they were all
Paul
absolutely
McCartney
all
says
on
they
drugs.
never did drugs.
No, I meant like society.
So yeah. I mean, yeah.
I meant the people that watched this movie
Was
that
this
made it
popular?
according to this, it was, hold on, I'll tell you exactly what it says here.
That surprises
Reception.
me. Because
Yellow Submarine received widespread critical acclaim.
right
Released in
then.
the midst of the psychedelic pop culture of the 1960s, the film drew in moviegoers both for its lush, wildly creative images and its soundtrack of Beatles songs.
I love how you were like, it's drugs. It's not like
It's
like
drugs. As I was watching it, that was what I felt. I was like, it feels like I'm watching drugs,
This
not
is
someone
drugs.
taking drugs. Just like this is what it feels like to take drugs because it's nonsensical. There's literally a point where they're in a yellow submarine floating through this area that just has these weird fucking things that I can't even. They're very. Hold on. Let's see if the Wikipedia can describe them better than me. Um, Hold on. Yes, the Sea of Monsters, where there's a bunch of it does. See, Wikipedia can't even describe what they are. But yeah, they go through different seas. They pass through the sea of time, the sea of science, the sea of monsters. It's nonsense. All of it's nonsense. It
It's
means
all
nothing.
nonsense. It's just
Ringo at
nonsense.
a certain point hits like the forbidden rescue button or whatever, and ends up riding around on one of the monsters. It means nothing. Nothing. It would be amazing if you were on drugs, which is why it did well when everyone was on drugs.
When
That's
they were
really
all
that's
on the drugs.
but I love the Beatles and I like their music, and when it's playing the music, I'm like having a good time.
Yeah,
But
I'm
you
starting to
know,
feel like I think I might need to rewatch Help because A Hard Day's Night was kind of bad. I'm starting to feel like maybe their movies weren't very good.
I mean the Beatles weren't happy with Help, so
I'm gonna
why would you be?
I'm gonna have to rewatch it. Yeah, but the Hard Day's Night one was the one that
Oh,
they liked.
I will say though,
I thought that movie was
I
bad.
was a little disappointed. Um, which that makes me question. Sorry, when they did so they did Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Heart Club Band, and then like they cut out right when they start with a little help from my friends, and I
What?
was like, that's disappointing. But then I'm reading here, and this is interesting. Um, there were alternate versions.
Huh.
Um, it was so
Yellow
there
Submarine
was
is that from Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band?
I'm not sure.
That
But there were apparently two versions. Um, the version in the UK is apparently longer. It
oh
includes the song "Hey Bill Bulldog," and there's some other changes. But oh yeah, interesting. Several alternate shots, and all you need is love. So yeah, there is a longer UK version, which
huh
apparently they didn't release internationally because they thought it would make the movie too long.
huh
Which
interesting.
as an aside, the movie was too long. I think this one was like 2 hours. Hold on, what does it say here?
What? No way. No way it was 2 hours long.
89 minutes.
Oh, that's an hour and a half. That's just under an hour and a half. That's not so bad. 2 hours would be
St
too long.
Still too long.
Fair enough.
But
Jordan,
that makes me wonder what the running time for the UK version was.
is that it
Yeah, that's Yellow
for
Submarine. It's
Yellow
so
Submarine?
so I think this movie is bad, but I like the music.
I mean, yeah, yeah, but I mean, that's a low
It's not
bar.
really it's not really much of a movie, to be fair. Like I said, it's just a lot of drug
Yeah,
trip scenes.
it sounds like the previous Beatles movie, which is just a series of music videos strewn together into a movie.
Except animated, and the voice cast isn't even the Beatles.
I mean, it is when they sing, technically.
I mean, technically,
Um,
yeah. It just really when you
which is
find out
probably
that they,
why how they get through that requirement of having to do it.
yeah. Well, I was gonna say when you find out that they let it be created just so they could get out of making a third one, yeah, it comes
Jordan,
across.
Jordan, 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 Jordan. Is that it?
That is it.
So, Jordan, let me ask you a question. Did you think that the last movie was as offensive as it could possibly get?
I think it's up there.
All right, Jordan. Let me tell you about a show and a movie by extension. Let me tell you about Drawn Together, the Drawn Together movie, the movie based on the Drawn Together show. Now, Jordan, do you remember Drawn Together?
I do.
You do.
I mean, not in great detail, but enough that like I know that there's like
So
a Betty Boop character. I know there's a Disney princess
let's
character.
see
I
if I
know
can
there's a
find.
black character,
Let's see if I can find a good list of all the
a very
characters.
offensive black character.
Okay. So yes, Drawn Together. The show is what it sounds like. It's a parody of the real world, Big Brother, Surreal Life. It's a cast of cartoon characters who are on a reality show in a house and they live together. And these characters are Captain Hero, as played by Jess Harnell, Woldor. Wow, his full name is Woldor Jebediah Sockbat. Princess Clara, Foxy Love, Toot Bronstein, Xander P. Wifflebottom, Spanky Ham, and
Wiffle
Ling Ling.
bottom.
Um, Yeah, Captain Hero is pretty much what he sounds like. He's a parody of Superman. Waldorf is kind of a parody of like Looney Tunes characters. Princess Clara is a Disney princess. Foxy Love is kind of a parody of like old Hanna-Barbera cartoons, like the mystery-solving Scooby-Doo kind of cartoons. Toot is Betty Boop, as Jordan mentioned. Xander is Legend of Zelda.
Oh yeah, right,
The
right. I
entire
forgot about him.
gag is that he's gay. That's the entire joke, and he's in love with Captain Hero. And
So funny.
Spanky Ham is Looney Tunes. Oh no, see this says he's a parody of Flash animations from Newgrounds. I would have said he's more like a Looney Tunes kind of character. And then Ling Ling is Pikachu. And so yeah, so the movie is about how their show they discover, because they realize that they can curse and swear. They discover that their show has been canceled, and they need to find out why. Foxy Love discovers that she can swear without being censored, and they realize that their show has been canceled in favor of a show called The Suck My Taint Show, which is a parody of South Park. By the way, as an aside, this movie has a real beef against South Park. And so it is revealed, the whole bit with drawn together is it's just offensive. It's just offensive for the sake of it. So like one of the opening scenes is there's a character called Jew Producer, and he's got what Jordan described as a Donald Trump hair, and he's a TV screen, and he's the producer of Drawn Together. He walks in and tells him,
Yeah, I immediately saw him, and I thought he was supposed to be a parody of Donald Trump.
And I apologize for what you were about to hear, but so he comes in and he hands them a bag of puppies and tells them that the challenge is that they need to smash all the puppies before he finishes. And so you see them smash the puppies, or it's either puppies or kittens, while he.
So I don't remember. I don't know if you already said this, but I feel like it's important. When did this come out for the audience's clarification?
2010.
So long before any of Donald Trumpisms became prevalent.
Yeah. And so he's while you see them squishing all the puppies, I'm just gonna say he's jerking off. It's really weird. So then it's revealed that he created all, like, they're not real. They're all parodies of various cartoon characters, and they're being canceled and decommissioned, so they need to be killed. And so there's an evil executive who wants to kill them because they, while on a misadventure, killed his family and scarred him with acid. So he's trying to kill them with a robot which kind of resembles Ed 2000 from RoboCop, called the Intelligent Smart Robot Animation Eraser Lady, or Israel. And Israel just makes a lot of jokes about Israel. So there's like a point where she's like, like the Jew producer is talking to Israel. It's like, Israel, maybe it's better you don't exist. And Israel gets really mad. It's like, Israel has a right to exist. And then he just like, Israel's tired. Israel needs to sit down. And Israel sits down. He's like, wow, this is a really inconvenient place for you to sit down, Israel. Or earlier, Israel kidnaps Jew producer's son, Jew Boy, I think is what his name is. And he's like, oh no, Jew producer is attacking my children for no reason. Israel is attacking my children for no reason. Why would you do that, Israel? Why would you attack those innocent children, Israel?
Oh, this is going to be clipped out of context so badly.
And, this movie came out in 2011.
No, I meant what you're saying currently is going to sound bad.
It certainly has that potential.
Clipped out of context.
It certainly has that potential. And, yeah, so they eventually, while on the run from Israel...
When people clip just that part and have no idea that you're talking about a movie from 2010 and think you're talking about modern-day conflicts.
Yeah. And so, the Suck My Taint character, they go to see her to try to get her to help them get the show back on the air. And, like, she's a parody of South Park, and this movie's got a real beef against South Park. Like, they think it portrays them as seeing South Park as being, like, hoity-toity and arrogant and above it all. Like the Suck My Taint girl character, she is like, oh, you guys are just gross and disgusting for the sake of it. Like, you don't have anything interesting to say, or you don't. Anytime you say anything gross or disgusting, you have to have a point. It has to have a point. Otherwise, there's why do it? You need to have a point. And like, they've really got this weird beef against South Park. It's very strange. Like, at one point, she makes a joke. There's a character where it's like, oh, it's a bipartisan man troll guy who just all he does is shit himself. And it's like, and he's a representation of trolls on the internet or whatever. And it's like, oh my god, yeah, no, not everything needs to have a point. But like, also, this movie's really disgusting. Like, at one, so the back part of it is like, they decide that they need to go to get a point land so they can get a point so they can get back on the air. And it's sandwiched between why are you bitter that you got canceled after 4 seasons? Most people don't even get that land. And it's like, yeah, clearly you guys are super. Also, they kill off Clara, the Disney princess character. She's the only one that's killed off. She gets killed off really early on. Her whole joke is that she's a racist. She gets killed off really early on and doesn't come back. The Superman character is a necrophiliac. He's carrying around a corpse that he's having sex with the whole movie. At one point, they realize they're uncensored, so you see Waldorf's penis, and it's massive. There's a point later on, like, full bore, uncensored, full frontal. And then there's a point later on where, like, the Suck My Tank girl is trying to make a point about something. Like, oh yeah, you guys are seeing that you guys need to have a point and you're trying to be better. And it cuts and they're all just having sex with each other. And like it's porn. Like, you're seeing everything. Like, one of them's eating shit. The other one's like, yeah, it's nasty. That's like, yeah, it's gross. It's
sounds
like,
bad. Sounds real bad.
It's like, it's real bad. This is real bad. I seem to recall
Sounds
laughing.
like the kind of thing we don't need to hear all that gory detail on YouTube.
No, it's gross. It's a gross movie. It's gross. It's unpleasant. The only thing about it that's really all that good is the animation is okay. It's certainly not the worst animated thing I watched. And like, it's not to say that there weren't moments I laughed. Like, I laughed. I won't say I didn't laugh, but also I'm disgusting. So
I'm the worst,
I'm awful. So yeah, but what's funny is and this is I guess not to get political, but what's funny about this movie is it was accused of being anti-Semitic, and which you could probably see why it would be.
Yes, I can see why it would be.
It was written by 2 Jews, so.
Okay, then. Yeah. Moving on.
Yeah, no, so, it's not. They're allowed to make those jokes apparently.
Apparently.
But yeah, it's really disgusting. Yeah, moving on. But also, not the most disgusting thing I watched. Jordan, you're thinking to yourself before I wrap up. You're thinking to yourself, this is the worst thing that he has to talk about this week.
I mean, I'm certainly thinking that anything worse than this should probably be censored.
It's not going to be. I will not be censored.
YouTube censored.
Oh, YouTube might
censor. So we don't, get in trouble and have our channel get a strike.
I would dispute it. Anyway. It gets worse, Jordan. This is not the bottom.
So, my last rapid fire is a movie called, well, in North America, it's called Rock and Rule. Outside of North America, it's apparently called Ring of Power.
Rock and or Rule?
No, Rock and Rule.
Oh.
There's no or. There is rocking and there is ruling.
Oh, I understand.
So, funny enough, it's 1983. It was made in 1983, and it's a Canadian animated musical science fantasy film.
Huh.
That's a lot of different things, but the important thing is Canadian. So it was made by, you might recognize this name, Senior Justin, if I can find it, because it was here.
Neat.
Hold on. Because I know it's a name that you're going to recognize and I want to find it. What was that? Production. Where is it? Huh, interesting. Apparently, why is it telling me about heavy metal?
That's also a weird animated movie.
I think it was by the same people. Maybe not.
Heavy
Anyways,
metal.
I saw somewhere on here, and I'm not seeing it currently. Um, but I saw somewhere on here earlier, uh, Nelvana,
Oh yeah, yeah, I do recognize them.
which I'm not seeing it currently, but I know that I saw that on here. It was their first animated film. Um, that's gonna drive me crazy. Anyways, um, so it's a post-apocalyptic world. Post-apocalyptic, apocalyptic. I don't know. But it's basically it's a movie which centers on rock and roll, obviously by the name. Um,
Would you say
and
it's on rock and or roll?
No, it's rock and roll. And it includes songs by Cheap Trick, Debbie Harry, Lou Reed, Iggy Pop, and Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Earth, wind, fire, and air.
I don't know if you recognize any of those
I
names,
do. I
but
do recognize those names.
it takes place in a post-apocalyptic United States populated by mutant humanoid animals, which they look upsetting. That's my big thing with this movie is the characters in it look upsetting. Um, which I mean, if they're supposed to be mutant humanoid animals, maybe that works. I guess. But so Mock Swagger, can you figure out who his name is? Mick Jagger? Uh
Ah, I see that. I see.
Mock Swagger,
I see
a
what you did there.
legendary rock musician, is on the search for a special voice whose frequencies can unleash a powerful demon from another dimension. Who is our main character girl. And our main character girl also has a like she's part of a band. She and the beginning of the movie is like the background person, but she has a song that she's written and she wants to sing, but the main singer doesn't want to sing it, and then he walks out, and then Mock is actually there when she sings, and he discovers that she has the exact voice that he needs, and so he, I mean, there's really no two words about it. He kidnaps her,
Oh,
and
well, right then.
he tries to offer her, the deal of a lifetime, and she's like, "I'm not going without my band." And he's like, "Well, I need your voice, so I guess you're coming with me, whether
Well,
you want to or
this has
not."
become a whole ass kidnapping.
Kidnapping.
Got
And so
kidnapped.
then he, at a certain point in the movie, like attaches her to a machine, so like he can press the buttons and like force her to sing the thing that he needs her to sing. And then they summon a demon, and then they stop the demon with the main girl and the dude
This
that
is
she was with
escalated
singing
wildly.
together, and their voices harmonizing and sending it back from whence it
He's
came.
just like, oh yeah, there's evil mutant animals, and then there's a demon. Wait, what?
And I mean that's rock and roll.
That's
You know,
all
it's a
right then.
real it's so it didn't do it really didn't do well when it was released, but it has apparently developed a cult following.
All right, all right.
Really didn't do well to the point where I don't do this with rapid fires, but it had a budget of 8 million and it made 30,000.
That's a
It
lot.
really didn't
That's a
do
lot.
well.
So,
Honestly, uh this one, yeah, oh there it is. Nelvana's first animated feature film, and it was the first Canadian animated feature to be produced in English apparently.
all right, all right.
Um this one was bad, but mostly because it looked horrifying. Like this was
Sure.
an example of like if 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 the animation hadn't been so ugly at certain points, I think I would have enjoyed it more. Like if it had gotten the Disney effect, where it was softer and rounder and less horrifying looking.
All right, all right. Jordan,
You know?
is that it?
He knows what I'm saying.
I do. Jordan, is that it?
That's the last rapide fire.
Jordan, it's time. It's time to talk to you about Kevin Jay and Silent Bob's groovy animated movie, which I watched. It was like an hour long. It took an ass long time to find, and it was not very good. The animation looks like shit. You said it looked like a bad internet video. It does. Now this was a full animated movie. I thought it was going to be the worst thing I watched all week. until about the second half. So the plot of it, just very briefly, is in that universe, Jordan, how Jay and Silent Bob are the superheroes Blunt Man and Chronic.
Yep.
This is how they became Blunt Man and Chronic. This is a Blunt Man and Chronic story. So it's basically how they become those superheroes. They find or they win the lottery and they become millionaires, and they have a butler a British butler played by Neil Gaiman, and they have a series of villains. One of them is called Dickhead, and he's literally he's got a head dick for a head. Constantly shoots out, the stuff when he gets mad. There's Cockknocker from the Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, the character who was played by Mark Hamill. There's a guy who he's got like a computer in his chest, and this movie's from that time where Kevin Smith was really insecure about critics and internet people, so he just writes bad comments. And I can't remember if there's one more. But anyway, they all inexplicably have the same backstory where they were doing something and Blunt Man and Chronic happen upon them and they fall in a vat of acid. Every single one of them.
Okay, that's one way to handle things.
There's a number of jokes that made me laugh. Like, there's a really funny, if you're a fan of voice acting, there's a really funny joke. There's a couple of really eye-rolly ones where it's because, again, it's mid sort of 2010s Kevin Smith. He's really insecure, so he breaks the fourth wall at time where he jumps in and he's like, "Oh, hey man, Kevin Smith here. I'm here to tell you that I don't hate lesbians, but the character does. He's a piece of shit, not me. Not me, Kevin Smith, it's the character." And then there's a point later on in the movie where he pops in and he's like, "Yeah, I know you all are expecting this character to be played by Mark Hamill because he played him in the movie, man. But life is full of disappointments, and because this is a Kevin Smith movie, it's ultimately going to be disappointing. So instead of getting Mark Hamill, we got voice actor Tara Strong to play Cockknocker." And so Cockknocker is now played by Tara Strong, and the character just sounds like Bubbles from the Powerpuff Girls. And it is legitimately funny. He has this running gag where he says everything in alliteration, and like, yeah, I laughed. Like, it's made. I would say I early on I was like, I would say this is his most embarrassing movie, except for Yoga Hosers exists. And I was like, it's all right. I don't have a ton of feeling for this. I'm just one film closer to completing his filmography. I've got one movie left. So then I was like, well, okay, this was an hour. I don't have much to say. Let's just and also I was, while trying to go through the very difficult process of getting this movie, I was like, maybe I should do Post-Apocalypto, because I know that that's weird and bad, and I'll get something out of this. And I knew that they released it as a movie. Like, so just real quick, Post-Apocalypto is a series of YouTube videos that Jack Black and Kyle Gass made as Tenacious D. They released it as a movie. And it is, no exaggeration, one of the worst things I've ever seen. So fake out that's what this bit is about. It's about Post-Apocalypto. It's not about Kevin Smith. I just said the nice things about Kevin Smith to prepare you for all the crap I'm going to talk about this movie, because it is literally one of the worst things I've ever seen. It is not only one of the worst animated movies I've ever seen, it is one of the worst movies I've ever seen. It is an embarrassment to not only animated movies, it is an embarrassment to Jack Black personally, Kyle Gass personally, to Tenacious D as a band, as a brand, to filmmaking in as a whole.
So, real quick, from what you described to me, it cannot be constituted as a movie because it does not have any movement. They're just still frames, so it's not a movie.
Well, it's a movie. I know. I would say
no. It's not a movie. A movie, literally, from like back in the day, movie. It's a movie.
It technically follows under it because it is technically moving pictures. The pictures do move, but it is not an animated movie. I would not call it an animated movie, but it is in fact a movie because the pictures do move. They may move a frame at a time, but they move. So yeah, this is.
I press X to doubt.
So this is basically Tenacious D. They're in their apartment and they wind up in the post-apocalypse. and there's a bit where they get taken to space by aliens. They sleep with a bunch of Amazonian lesbian women, who one of them gets pregnant, and Jack Black's son from the future sends a Terminator robot back from the future so that they can stop Donald Trump Jr. from taking over the world, who is now an immortal evil being.
God.
And a big twist, it turns out at the end that Jack Black's son is actually evil, and that he wants to use it to take over the universe, not just Earth, but the entire universe. He wants to use this magic gem to take over the universe, and this causes a...
Jack Black's son is evil?
He's evil. Big twist. Turns out he's evil. Well, they say
Jables.
That's JB's son. JB's son is evil, turns out. Big twist.
That's got to be a whole amount of therapy for his son.
And so
having his father and his father's friend labeled him as evil.
Well, no, because the big twist basically...
I'm talking in real life.
Yeah. And so then they create a time warp, and the thing ends with they go back to the future, and it starts all over again, or back to the past, and it's awful. It's truly like I say, it's badly animated. So much of it is just porn. Like a great deal of it it's just porn. Like there's multiple scenes, like the scene I mentioned earlier. I skipped past all the gnarly shit. But the scene I mentioned earlier where they're with the Amazonians, it's a really long and exceptionally, like, not very good song of Jack Black describing them having sex and how he doesn't want to have sex unless he's in love with them. And they show it. They show the whole thing. They show everything going in everything. And it goes on forever. And they make noises. And it's awful. It's awful. I was like, oh my God, please, for the love of God, end. And I am begging you. And then at a certain point...
I would have just skipped past it.
At a certain point, a Terminator robot shows up, who is Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he has a working vagina, and he wants to be useful to Jack Black, to Jable, KG and Jables, and they're uncomfortable with him, so they tell him to walk like 100 meters back. But he convinces Jack Black to have sex with him, and Jack Black has sex with him, and they show the whole thing. And again, it's awful. It's awful. It's awful. It goes on forever, and it's awful. And then later on, when they run to Donald Trump Jr., the Terminator robot convinces Donald Trump Jr. that he's a woman somehow, and it sucks Donald Trump Jr. off. And you see the whole thing. It's just... Okay.
I think we get the idea.
It's...
It sounds awful. It sounds inappropriate, and it doesn't sound like a movie. It sounds like pornography.
Right, like that's the thing. So I really need to drive the point home of
you've driven the point.
So I could be like, this is Tenacious D. Like I still like their music. I still like the band. The Pick of Destiny is still one of my favorite movies. This upset me because they can do better. Like this is embarrassing.
Well, if it's any consolation, Tenacious D is dead. So
it looks like not even the what's the word I'm looking for? Like not even like the animatic, but the sketch before the animatic. You know what I mean? Like the thing that drives me crazy about this movie.
For me, it's not. From what you're describing, it's yes, that is part of what makes it bad, but it's the content which makes it truly abysmal.
Well, that too, but
but I feel like if it was funny or engaging or good in any way,
I don't know.
I don't know about you. For me, I can look back. This week kind of proves it. I can look past some bad animation.
Not when it's bad, though.
If there's at least something else to enjoy. It depends.
I guess.
If I had to pay to watch it, no, I'm going to be 100% more critical about it. But they released it for free on YouTube.
Right, so that's my thing is I cannot be bothered. I watched this as the movie, right? I did not watch this as a YouTube video, so I don't know. Maybe the YouTube videos are censored.
They have to be.
Maybe they are. Like with how graphic this is, I have to believe they are.
Yeah, they have to be. From what you've described, you can't put that shit on YouTube.
I've found some nudity on YouTube, so probably is censored. I will never watch this again. But I think I will say, okay, maybe some slight positive. It's Tenacious D, so the music isn't bad. Some of the music is all right. Like some of the songs are okay. I enjoyed some of the songs. Some of the jokes are kind of funny, but the sound design for so okay, like Jack Black and Kyle Gass's mics sound okay, but the other sound design sounds horrible, and like there's a lot of like they're doing like the female characters, so it makes the sex scenes extra weird. It feels like something a 10-year-old would make, and it's like you guys could do. It's embarrassing. You guys can do better. Like, whatchamacallit, Rise of the Phoenix is way better than this. Like you guys can do better, and this is terrible. And like I'm trying to think what else was there I wanted to say about this beyond the fact that it's one of the worst things I've ever seen, and it's embarrassing. They should be embarrassed. They should be it bothers me because people paid money for this. Like they showed this as the movie version at the Rio. For like, I remember I looked into it because I was shocked that they had the audacity to charge people money for this. But it was like $50. It was like $50 to go watch this, and people pay for that, and that personally offends me. It offends me that people spent money on this. Like at one point they were selling the vinyl for this. Fuck that, and fuck you. You should be embarrassed and ashamed that this exists. It is easily one of the worst things ever put to creation. Like, the thing that bothers me about it is when I was watching it, there was points where I was like, if it feels like this was a pitch reel for a Tenacious D movie that nobody wanted to buy. Like, if you cut all of the pornography out of this, it's not a bad concept for a movie. Like, Tenacious D gets trapped in the post-apocalypse in the future, and his elderly son sends a Terminator robot back to the past, and it turns out he's evil. Like, I gotta say, the fact that the son was evil, I didn't see coming because I was so offended by everything else. But, like, that was an okay twist. Like, if you actually spent money on this and animated it, and maybe did it as, like, a 3D animated movie, this wouldn't have been horrible. But it's horrible. It makes me embarrassed to be a Tenacious D fan, and that's more embarrassing than the thing they did in Australia, and that was already embarrassing enough. I was embarrassed watching it. Like, they should be ashamed. It's that bad.
But they're not.
I'm almost tempted to encourage you to watch it for the show.
Nah, that'll never happen.
Only for the show, and only in the context of like I would let you pick something really bad for me.
No.
You could pick whatever you want.
No.
We'll talk.
It'll never happen.
I'll have my people call your people. But yeah, it was bad, and embarrassing. And it's funny because before we move on, I was gonna combine the Jay and Silent Bob and this together, but I think this might be its own video. We'll see. We'll see when I look back on the footage. That's it. Oh yeah, by the way, that's the worst thing I watched this week. Hands down. Like, there's some stuff on here that's bad coming up, but not that bad. Like, it might be the worst thing I've watched for this show.
High praise indeed. Low praise indeed?
Low praise? Bottom of the barrel?
Anyways. So now we move into have scenes.
Ooh, that felt cathartic. I've been waiting to do that for, like, all week. I was so mad when I watched it. Sorry.
Have scenes. So I'm gonna start. Do I start with the slightly longer one, or do I go for the short one first?
Also, John, I absolutely put 6 in the thumbnail. I don't know if you saw that.
I did not.
Titties.
I watched Tripping the Rift. We'll go with the long one first. I watched all 3 seasons of Tripping the Rift.
Yeah. Have people heard of Tripping the Rift?
Is that a well-known one?
I flip-flop on it because it played in Canada. Like, I watched it in Canada. I'm almost entirely positive it's produced by and animated by a Canadian company. But the main lead is Stephen Root, and he's quite a famous American voice actor. Is
Cine Group?
Yeah, Cine
Canadian?
Group. I'm pretty sure they're Canadian.
It was produced by them.
Because I think it's originally in French.
In association with the Sci-Fi Network.
Oh, at the Sci-Fi Network. Oh, interesting. So it aired on the Sci-Fi Network. Oh, okay.
But then once it got canceled by that network, Cine Group continued producing the series for other North American and international broadcasters, including on the Canadian specialty channel Space and Teletoon.
Yeah. Well, Well, I know that season
So
3.
I
That's
don't
why season
I
3
don't
looks different. It's
I
because it's
don't think it
animated by a different company.
I don't think that it started off Canadian. I think Canadian picked it up.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, I know that. I'm pretty sure the third season's done by a different company. Because
Because I think the Sci-Fi Channel, I'm pretty sure that's American.
Yes, yes. Because to my knowledge, and I could be completely wrong, I think the first 2 seasons didn't do okay, and then yeah, I think it came to Canada, and in Canada it did better because there's a movie that exclusively released in Canada, and that's the Tripping the Rift movie, which is it's
Yeah,
basically a bunch
I
of
saw
the.
that was a thing, but once I saw that it was a compilation of episodes, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna watch the episodes anyways.
It's a
So,
compilation of episodes, and it's slightly dirtier. I think there's a bit more nudity. I think, and there's
one day I'll have to contrive a reason to watch it one
there was
day.
a few, but yeah, I like this show. This is one of those times where I'm like, I recognize this probably isn't a very good show, but I like it.
Yeah.
I quote it like all the time. I mean, I'm gonna say a few of my favorites, but my favorite is like, yeah, you buy the KY jelly off me, and I'll blow town, so to speak.
So to speak.
Or do you think Six isn't someone put on this planet for your gratification? She's put on for
this
my gratification. I love Six. Not obviously not just because of the obvious reasons, but she's one of my favorite characters because I love the fact that she's played by a different actress every season. I love the fact that she's the smartest character on that show. That is a funny joke. I love how much of a piece of shit.
I'm just amazed by how much this show was allowed, like parody wise.
It gets away with so
gets away
much.
with a lot.
Not even just parody wise, just the amount, the close. It rides the line. Some of the stuff it gets away with. You're like,
it's
whoa.
Poking fun at Star Wars, Star Trek, 2001: A Space Odyssey, Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
Like there's so many different things in there.
Yeah.
But
Star Trek very very much. There's a lot of Star Trek in there.
A thing. So I don't know where Wikipedia gets this from. I watched the entire thing. I don't really remember them ever directly saying this. But so in the show,
we should probably say what it's about, shouldn't we?
I mean, it's about the crew of, I don't remember what the ship's name is.
Doesn't matter.
Spaceship Bob, Jupiter
Bob.
42.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Jupiter 42, which is a reference to something.
Yeah, it's a reference to 2001: Space Odyssey. That's the name of. That's the name of the. That's the name of the ship
and
that
Jupiter
Dave's
40, in. And Jupiter 42. Jupiter 42 is a reference to Lost in Space, and possibly The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh, that makes sense. It's a motley crew.
Basically, it's a motley crew who they live in the and this is where I was about to say this. They didn't really. Anyways, you have two groups, which is the Federation, which is the Star Trek side of things, and the Darth Clown side, which is the Star Wars side of things, which one could poke fun at the fact that Star Wars is clowns.
Darth Clown. Darth Clown.
No, I mean like.
No,
clearly
I know.
That's the creator poking fun at the fan
Oh,
groups.
I'm sure, probably, yeah.
And so the crew live basically and this is where I say this isn't really said in the show.
No, I don't remember it being said in the show. You said this earlier in the week, and I don't remember them. I've seen like every episode, and I don't remember them ever saying that.
Wikipedia is like basically. There's the two sides, and the only place that anyone can truly be free is the border region between the two superpowers, which is directly controlled by neither. This borderland is known as the Rift. Hence, those outlaws on the fringes of society who cling to their freedom by moving back and forth around the Confederation / Dark Clown Empire border to evade detection are said to be, quote, tripping the Rift. Unquote.
That sounds like,
they never say that in the show.
That sounds like reaching, or someone saw the log line somewhere for it in a press release somewhere. That's what that sounds.
Or
like.
maybe it says it on the back of like one of the DVD cases or something.
Maybe, yeah, I don't know.
But like they never. I own the second
season of it, and I can tell you that much.
Maybe they say it in the movie or something. I don't know, but
my favorite season is season 2, because my favorite 6 is the Carmen Electra one.
I mean, I don't really have a favorite. I just kind of enjoyed it all.
I don't care much for the first season 6 because I found her to be kind of, but also she has a lot of funny lines, but she's kind of too dry and deadpan. And I kind of had the same thing with I just really like Carmen Electra, but yeah, the I can't remember who plays her in the third season. I want to say Jenna Jameson, but I don't think that's right. I just know that Gina Gershon's the first season.
Jenny McCarthy.
That's who it was, Jenny McCarthy. She's completely flat. And they give her some of my favorite 6 stuff in season 3, and it's just not as good. Season 2 is easily my favorite season.
And she's modeled after the stripper named Half a Dozen, who is played by someone different.
Yeah,
Patty Hearst.
Her name is full name is 6 of 9, which is obviously a reference.
6 of 1.
A 6 of 1, yeah, which is both a 6 of 1, half a dozen to another, half a dozen to the other, and also a reference to 7 of 9 from Star Trek.
Yes. Most of the characters are a parody or a reference of something Star Wars or Star Trek related.
You got Gus, the gay robot. You got Whip,
who is C3PO.
C3PO. You got Whip, Chode's nephew, who's a lizard. You've got Chode, who's a purple alien, tentacle alien.
Purple tentacle alien.
And then you've got
Tanuk Leor.
Tanuk Leor.
Who when you read her name backwards, it spells something completely different.
It spells something not appropriate. And then you've got Bob the spaceship.
Spaceship Bob.
Spaceship
Justin.
Bob. There's
also Darth Bobo.
Darth Bobo, yeah.
And Captain Adam Francis Shatner.
he's just kind of,
which is where I say
that's funny.
They just used Shatner.
That's funny. That's pretty funny. Hey, Shatner's a common name.
But he's called in the show. He's mostly called Commander Adam.
Doesn't Six sleep with Commander Adam at one point?
No.
It's Commander Adam's son winds up with the clown Darth Bo's daughter. Right.
Yeah.
I knew there's something involving him. There's an episode I remember involving him. My favorite episode is You Want to Put That Where, which is it's a season 2 episode. It's the one where they go to the planet where instead of everyone's gay instead of being straight, and being straight is the taboo thing to be. And it turns out that the governor is a closeted heterosexual. That's one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite episodes. There's a lot. I used to come home and that show will always hold a special place in my heart because I used to come home when I was like a 17, 18, and I'd watch it at 10 o'clock at night. So I was a teenager. It is a vulgar show that I think is probably
it is a product of its time for sure.
Absolutely a product of its time.
It's one of those things where you sent me the teaser or whatever, not teaser.
The pilot
on YouTube, and I'm just shocked that it ever got picked up.
I'm shocked that pilot is on YouTube because it's got boobs in it.
Yeah, but that's tripping the rift.
Yeah, I can't believe that show didn't last longer. I'm genuinely surprised.
I'm surprised it lasted as long as it did.
To a degree, yeah, but I was always surprised that one never caught on. Because it's right in there in your Family Guys in your. I think it's probably, if I had to guess, the reason why they stopped producing it was probably because it was expensive.
I couldn't say.
Judging based on the fact that it's a fully 3D animated show that honestly doesn't look terrible. For what it is.
No, it holds up
for what it
well.
is. For what it is, it honestly doesn't look terrible. Considering it's on a television budget. I mean, to be fair, most of the characters, I think all the budget went to Six's tits.
Or any others that showed up.
Right. Obviously
But just Six generally, I would
Six
say.
Generally, yeah. Yeah, all the budget went to getting Carmen Electra or Gina Gershon. No, I genuinely love that show. If you didn't watch it,
this is another one where if any of you who have not heard of this show want to go and watch this show, it is 100% free on YouTube. I watched the entire series for free on YouTube,
baby.
So you can go and watch it. Tell us how raunchy and silly it is, or how much you hate it, for free.
Right.
There's really no excuse not to.
I think if you
do it when you can do it for free.
I think if you're a fan of Star Trek and you particularly
Star Wars,
but I'm hinting at a particular friend of mine who I have to. I'm reminding myself from my Star Trek podcast when we do Star Trek parodies that we have to talk about this. Be interesting to see if Jake's heard of this. I doubt he has. I doubt he's heard of this. Jordan, is that it for Tripping the Rift?
This one gets the 4 thumbs up.
4 thumbs way up. It's
bad.
2010s show.
It's bad, but I love it anyway.
But it's charming. It's definitely charming. This is position number 336.
I don't know.
The Backdoor Paradise.
Maybe it's just my blind nostalgia for it.
Yeah,
that's talking.
That could be it.
But
I
enjoy it.
That's another one of my favorite episodes. The one where they're one of my favorite bits. The one where they're trying to get the senator or whatever who's running for re-election, who has brainwashed his family, and he ends up brainwashed, or his family's like a cyborgs or androids.
I mean, one of my favorites is still the first one where Gus and Chode accidentally killed God, and everybody's now a psychopath because they've never heard of evil.
That's funny, but that one where they're trying to get the pictures of the senator having sex with Six, and they're in the paint thing, and it's flying up and down. That makes me laugh every time. Get it up there now. It's funny. I also Stephen Root. I love Stephen Root. Like, he's one of my all-time favorite voice actors. I mean, it's hard not to love a performance by him.
I mean, yeah, you got
for the
Bill
benefit
Dauterive.
of the audience. He's Bill Dauterive. He's also I think he's less Bill. I mean, it's more sort of a combo of the two, but I think he's more Buck Strickland than he is.
No,
than he is.
Personality, he's Buck Strickland. Voice, he's Bill. That's who I hear when I listen to this.
I always heard Strickland. But anyway, Jordan, that's it for Tripping the Rift.
That is it for Tripping the Rift.
So it's funny. Normally when we do these animation episodes, I'm like, no Disney, because it feels too easy. But this time I was like, well, okay, you're allowed one Disney if it's something weird, and you didn't pick any Disney. I picked one Disney, and this will be interesting to see if people remember this one. Do you all remember a movie called Teacher's Pet? He wants to be a boy.
I'm aware of it. But I don't know that I think I've watched it. I think I've watched it once.
I honestly, I cannot say. I only saw this. Okay, number one. Okay, Teacher's Pet. Let's go to the beginning. Teacher's Pet. The premise of it. Initially, it was a show, I think it was on Disney Channel, and it's about a dog who wants to be a boy.
An anthropomorphic dog, Justin. You gotta make sure they know the truth.
He's not. I mean, I guess it depends on what your definition of what makes
anthropomorphic. Talking animal. He's a talking animal.
But like this movie implies that, or the show and the movie both imply that. I guess he is anthropomorphic, but like he is a regular dog who learned how to talk and is just really smart. So it's not like he's a magic dog. If that makes sense. Like there are other regular non-talking dogs.
Not magic is not the point. He's still an anthropomorphic dog.
Anyway, he decides, so he dresses up as a student. He walks on his hind legs, dresses up as a student, and goes to school as Scott Ledready II. And the show is about, I think at a point within the first episode, the kid finds out that he is Scott Ledready II, and he just wants his Spot to be a regular dog like everybody else. He wants to have a regular dog. That's his dream. And then the show is shenanigans over the course of the school year of them at the school. I watched like 2 or 3 episodes of it to refresh myself, and then I watched the movie. And so the movie is the series finale to the show, and it takes place at the end of the year, at the end of the school year. And,
summer vacation.
I don't remember the kid's name, but the kid's mom, played by. I immediately went, oh, it's Kitty from That 70s Show. Played by Kitty from That 70s Show, wins the Teacher of the Year award and has been invited to go to Florida to accept this award. And all the kid wants is to have a regular summer with the dog as a regular dog, where they can play fetch and be a regular dog and just be a dog. But the mom is told that she can't bring no dogs allowed in because she's been given an RV to travel to these awards by the principal. The principal has a cat, and he's like, no dogs allowed in the RV. So he gets left behind, and he's real sad about it. And the music in this movie is honestly kind of good. Some of the musicals are legit good. Nathan Lane plays Spot, the dog, and he's quite a good singer. There's a couple of really good bangers of a song. I like the theme song. I think the theme song is really good.
I wanna be a boy.
I wanna be a dog boy. And so he sees there's this crazy scientist guy played by Kelsey Grammer who wants to make animals into a boy. He wants to take animals and make them into human. And so
That's convenient.
Scott sees this on the television and goes and catches up with the family and says he's Scott, and the mom's like, I don't know if I don't know if I could take you to Florida. I need to get permission from your parents. And there's a really funny scene where he dresses up as all the different parents, he ends up finding the doctor. Initially, he goes to he runs into the boy, and the boy is like, oh, I just want you to be a regular dog. I just want you to realize that even though you think you're a boy and you want to be a boy, you can never be a boy. You will always only ever be a dog. You'll only ever be a dog. You think you could be a boy? You can't be a boy.
Not
You're a dog. You have to be a dog. But if you need to, become a boy to get this out of your system, we'll go through with this. So he goes and he meets a wackadoo doctor. They constantly call him wackadoo. It's a thing he's self-conscious about, insecure about. They call him a wacko. And there's a running joke about how dogs, dog years or whatever. So he's like, oh, you'll be gone for a week. That'll be like 5 years in dog time. And so, so they go to this evil doctor. He's like, I want you to turn me into a boy. And he puts him through this procedure. He uses this machine on him. And he turns into a man. Like a grown adult man. Like an adult man. And the doctor's like, well, yeah, now you belong to me. I turned you into this. I now own you. So I'm going to put you in jail. And so he puts him in jail. In a prison. And they, blah, 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 blah. They escape. And he's like, oh, no, I can't stay with you. I live with him. And so he goes back, and they're like, well, now that you're a human man and you're no longer a dog, you can't live with me. Like, what are we gonna do about this? And so then he takes him back to where the mom is in the RV, and he introduces himself as another teacher who's been nominated for the award. He's like, I'm such and such whatever. Instead of saying the far more believable lie of, I'm Scott's dad, and I need to take him home. He says no, I'm the substitute teacher, and him and the mom go out on a date, and the mom likes him, is into him, has a crush on him, and he goes back, and they've been trying to figure out what are they gonna do, where's Spot gonna live, how are they gonna resolve this, and he's like, I have the solution, kid.
I'll be your dad.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna fuck your mom. And he's like, whoa. He's like, yeah, that's the solution.
Doggy style.
I'm going to bang your mom. That's the solution. And he literally says, I'm going to be your daddy. And I'm like, oh, whoa, this got weird. This got weird all of a sudden. That's what you're supposed to be like, all of a sudden.
All of a sudden, doggy style.
And so then, yeah. So the kid's like, no, fuck that. This is insane. No, you're not going to be my dad or anything else. You're my dog. This is weird. You're a dog. You will always be a dog. And then, yeah, they go through the all is lost moment of they break up and they're sad. And then Spot realizes that he has been a dog the whole time, and that this transition that he did, it's a failure. Even though he transitioned and he thought that he would achieve a euphoria from transitioning Jordan, that transition was malformed and awful, and he was a freak of nature, and he didn't actually become the thing that he wanted to transition into. He became a malformed version of it, and he was never going to be that thing that he transitioned into. Jordan, do you get it?
I do, but I'm not going to state it out loud.
And so then the movie ends, Jordan, with Spot realizing...
I'm much like the movie's attempt. I'm gonna leave it for the audience's interpretation.
And so Jordan, then the movie ends where he's fighting the bad guy, and he gets zapped. He gets obliterated, just straight up, vaporized. And the kid's like, I'm sad or whatever. Oh, my dog's dead. and he gets hit by the beam that turned him into a human, and it brings him back to life, and he's a dog. And now he sings the, I want to be a boy, but now it's I'm proud to be a dog. And now he's proud to be a dog, Jordan, because to be clear, he was a dog the whole time.
Okay.
Jordan, that's
all right.
It's honestly, I thought it was all right. I just was like, wow, this is a remarkably anti. You know what? It's not important what it's an anti or not anti thing. What it is.
We will leave that up to the interpretation of people who
Jordan,
are far more qualified than us to have an opinion.
Of course, but I'm gonna end it with this. If I had a nickel for every time I watched a movie that had a trans character in it, I'd have 2 nickels. But it's weird that it happened twice.
You're not wrong.
That's it. That's Teacher's Pet.
It is weird.
I really liked that show when I was a kid.
I remember enjoying it.
It's also one last thing on Teacher's Pet. Sorry, it's the reason why they stopped doing TV movies, the movie, and putting them in theaters. Apparently, it's the reason because it bombed horribly. And so you know how So the Drama went. I think you said So the Drama was supposed to go to theaters. The reason why it didn't was because of Teacher's Pet, because Teacher's Pet bombed horribly.
I understand.
Which, like, in retrospect, obviously it would. It wasn't a terribly popular show. I think that the Recess movie also bombed. Because, like, yeah, it kind of requires you to have a familiarity with the TV show. And, like, with mainstream audiences, that's not going to work. There's a reason why they started going straight to DVD or streaming.
I don't know. Anyway. I think it was had as much of a chance of being successful as, like, Pokemon the movie did.
No, Pokemon was crazy popular.
I just mean insofar of the fact of, like, if you go to the Pokemon the movie and have no idea who Ash is, it doesn't mean anything to you.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, no, that's fair. Anyway, sorry, I keep extending Teacher's Pet. What's your next thing?
My next and final have seen is a movie called Simply. Sorry, I fucked that up. It is a movie which is simply called 9.
Earth.
No, 9.
9. Yeah, that movie's weird, man. I understand why you picked. Like when you were like, I saw that on your list, and I was like, that's not what I had in mind.
But it's weird.
Yeah, the biggest. The thing is, okay. I've talked about it before, but this came out when I worked at the movie theater. And so a lot of times...
What? You worked at the movie theater? We've never known that before.
We do this bit every time.
The lore of Justin
we've done this bit
is
every
suddenly
time.
Being deepened.
Why are we doing this bit again? But you do this every time. Every time. No. Where was I going with that? You distract. Oh yeah, I remember seeing the trailer for this movie a bunch of times, and the trailer is sick. We're gonna play the. Well, I don't know if this is gonna be a YouTube video yet, but if it is, we'll play the trailer for you. It's sick. It has Welcome Home by Coheed and Cambria, and I just remember being like, this movie, like the first time I saw the trailer, being like,
yeah, that trailer is a completely different movie.
What? Oh, it is a completely different movie, but I'm like, what is this? And the big selling point is that it's executive produced by Tim Burton, so they really want you to associate it with Tim Burton, even though it is nothing like a Tim Burton movie.
That's because the reason why it's so influenced by Tim Burton is apparently, anyway, he was the one who saw the original short film, which this is based on, and pushed for it to be a movie.
Then I wonder why he's only executive producing, because executive producers don't do nearly as much as a regular.
That's what Wikipedia says, anyway.
Oh, that's interesting. That explains why he's producing it, why he's executive producing it.
But I mean, there's a number of things which, just from a marketing standpoint, were brilliant. The fact that it came out on September 9th, 2009, 9909.
Yep.
The trailer, which made it look way better than it was, or at least it was advertising a very different movie. Now, one thing that I'm like, when I'm reading this online, I never really. Well, I don't think it's a kids movie, but I think it's too dark. I think it's a family movie. I think it. We always talk about that fine distinction between like a movie that's just for kids and a movie which is meant to be enjoyed by Your parents are there as a child to reassure
Yeah.
you that this terrifying movie isn't so
It's like the,
bad.
it's like that kind of movie your parents make you watch that you're like, man, I don't feel like I should be watching this. You rewatch it 10 years when you're like 18, and you're like, yeah, I don't think I should have watched this when I was 5.
So, one thing that I never realized
Cough,
about
Who
this
Framed Roger
movie,
Rabbit, or The Mask,
um, or Hunchback of Notre
or
Dame,
Hunchback of Notre Dame.
um, one thing that I never picked up on about this, which it makes the casting choice that much more interesting and definitely more explicit and not just implicit, unless I'm mixing those up. Anyways, is I never picked up on the fact that this is supposed to be an alternate version of the 1940s.
Oh, interesting. No, I didn't pick
I
that up.
never once picked up on that.
I just
Um,
I just know the big twist is the spoiler alert. The guy who creates them is the guy who caused the apocalypse, and that
that's why I say it makes it a lot more explicit of what they're going
yeah
for and less implicit because he's voiced. Hold on, I want to get his name right. He's
yeah this is
voiced
genuinely interesting.
and it being in the 1940s makes it more like this is clearly it is a call to this.
Yeah,
He is voiced by Alan Oppenheimer, who's the third cousin of the famous
that's pretty
Oppenheimer.
cool. That's a pretty
And
cool
so the
reference.
fact that this is supposed to be an alternate 1940s, and he creates the thing that is supposed to be used for like to help humanity, and it causes the apocalypse, is definitely a way less subtle reference to the
Oh, for
atomic
sure is.
bomb
But like,
than I. But I thought I thought they were going for like a subtle thing,
no,
if that
no,
makes
yeah,
sense.
no.
But like the fact that they literally have the third cousin of the guy who created the atomic
Voiced,
bomb voicing the guy who
he's
essentially
voiced
created the
by
atomic
Oppenheimer.
bomb.
Yeah, no, he's voiced by Oppenheimer. It's a really on the nose metaphor that nobody who's watching that movie would get. Nobody would
No,
get.
I didn't.
It's so
I didn't get
subtle.
it
It's
until
so
this time
it's
when
so bizarre. Like
and I
people are
only
gonna
I
know
only
Alan
found it out
Oppenheimer
because
voiced this character. It's weird.
I only found it out because I heard John C. Riley and it tweaked my brain and I was like, that's John C.
John
Riley,
C.
right? So
Riley.
and so I looked up the cast list and then I saw, yeah, Alan Oppenheimer, and I'm like, no, he can't be related
It's not.
to dot dot dot. Oh my God, he absolutely is related to that
It's
famous Oppenheimer.
it's not that
Um,
Oppenheimer.
um, and so okay, I now and this is now the point where I have to say my fan theory about something in this movie. So
They all well, just real quickly. I just want to ask you because I would like you to remind me of this movie. I have a few questions to jog my memory. Number one, what they all die at the end, right? Like they all do.
not all of them. Nine, the girl and the two twins who don't talk,
Right.
they survive.
Right. Because John C. Riley sacrifices himself. It's a real bummer, right?
Kind of. No, I mean one sacrifices himself to save nine.
One's the evil one.
What do you define as evil?
The,
He's the one that wants to protect them at all costs, even at the sacrifice of their own freedom. If that's evil, then yeah, sure.
what you just described sure sounds evil.
It's a sliding scale of gray.
He's the one who's scummy, right? Like that's the
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. The one who, and I'm not saying there's a direct correlation here, but the one who looks suspiciously like a Catholic priest.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So okay. Yeah.
Number one.
Right. He's the first one that got created, right?
Yeah.
And they're all like splinters of his soul.
Yeah, they're all he uses like an alchemy and a machine or something, which I have so many questions about how that works. But to like each time he creates one, it gives
They're
part of his
Horcruxes.
soul to the Horcruxes. Or not the Horcruxes, they're homunculus.
Gotcha.
They're homunculi technically.
Technically, yeah.
Um, but this leads into my theory. I think because okay, few questions. The role in the backstory part, the it said that the robots use like gas and stuff to kill all life, like not just humans, but like animals, plants, like all life.
Yeah.
How is the scientist the one person who knows how all of this technology works and how to create homunculuses who might like save the world.
Well,
I don't know what his plan was for them exactly, but I have a theory, and that's what I'm going to get to.
wasn't it like they
Um,
were around for a while though?
there the early ones were, but no, my point is how did the scientist who appears to be the last surviving human survive? How did he make it to the point where the rest of the planet, all of the plants are dead, the trees appear to be dead, there's no sentient life anywhere, there's no animals anywhere, it's just the homunculi and the machines who have survived? How did the one scientist who is splitting his soul to create and like giving all the how did he survive to that point in the movie?
Maybe there's a proximity in terms of this gas, and the robots technically he
Okay,
created them. You don't kill your
but
creator.
no, because the point of this robot is that it has his intelligence but not his soul. That's the point. Is
Then I
that
got
that's
nothing.
why that's why the robot ultimately goes evil. Which leads me into my theory. I think when the scientists created all of the homunculus in general, but especially like by the point time he got to 9 and used up the last bit of his soul, I think he had two plans in motion. Either the homunculus would kill the thing that was like his brain thing, which was creating the robots, problem solved, and life would start again on the planet, and things would be good for whatever life came next, and all the homunculus would, and the homunculus survives, or and this is the dark part of it. He knew the homunculuses would never survive. He knew the robots would suck their souls into it, and then the machine would have a soul and would be good, like it was always intended to be.
Interesting. So you think that the homunculi were designed to have their the
I think they were designed to die. I
interesting.
think they were designed to put
Interesting.
his soul into the machine so that the machine then has his intellect and his soul, and
Interesting.
he lives forever in the machine.
Did they kill the machine at the end?
Yes.
Interesting. Interesting. Interesting.
They kill the machine at the end, and the three or the four, basically what looks like a small family, where it's the guy, the girl, and the two childlike ones, and then it's raining, and in the rain there's like little particles of green, which is supposed to be like the planet is getting life back.
I mean that makes sense because what they don't otherwise state. What are they supposed to do? Are they like within like what you're meant to understand them as? Like are you supposed to understand? Are you meant to understand that they're there to kill the robot?
I believe they say in the movie that his intention for them is they're the last the last spark of humanity
Gotcha.
to live on,
Gotcha.
basically.
I just
So
remember.
I think what the movie intends his intention to be is they outlast because they don't live like humans.
Right.
They outlast the robots because that's basically what happened in this movie is they outlasted the robots and there was one robot left, and then the girl kills that one robot, and then 9 accidentally puts the weird thing back into the machine and boots it up again. But if he hadn't done that, all the machines would be dead and they would be the last surviving things, and they would be the last spark of humanity.
The big thing I remember about this is it was underexplained and too short for how
Yes.
underexplained it was. It's like you could
It
have made
really
this like
feels like this
20 minutes longer.
should have had a sequel or something.
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't surprise me if it got slashed in fucking edit like test screenings and edits.
It wouldn't shock me either.
Like because it just seems like probably it was like too boring, and they probably cut it out for what's the word, expediency. But I don't know. That's the one thing I remember. Being
Apparently,
like, this is good, but it's just not long enough.
apparently there have not been any plans made for a sequel, but in the 2009 DVD commentary, the director has also mentioned there could be a sequel because of the way that the
Interesting.
because of the lack of darker animated films, claiming everything is G and PG rated
He's not wrong.
with little to no dark elements. And in 2009, he said he will continue to make darker animated films, either with a sequel to 9 or original ideas for future films. But yeah, this movie's dark. There's no two ways
so
about
dark.
it.
But yeah, I'm assuming it bombed horribly.
I mean, it had a budget of had a budget of 30 million, and it had a box office of 48.4 million. So it didn't do great.
Yeah, no,
I don't,
I know it.
I don't know that would be a bomb, but like it's like a hold on. It's like a
Yeah, it didn't do well. It did not do okay. I surmise like they really wanted you to think that it was a Tim Burton movie. That happens a lot with
It's
it
just
with
it's one
when
of
he
those it's
produces
one of
stuff.
those movies where it's like it has there's stuff there to like, and I do like it. I wouldn't necessarily call it bad. I would call it underexplored.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with that. Jordan.
Like if you're gonna make it darker, I think my ultimate summation of this movie or my ultimate feelings towards this movie is if you're gonna make a darker animated movie, at that point you know it's not for kids and
Yeah.
it can be longer than it
Yeah,
was.
pretty much. Like you don't try don't there's a lot of animated movies where it's like, "Oh, we want to be dark, but we also still want to sell to kids," and it kneecaps you on both fronts. Where it's like, oh, like not it's not always like in terms of like imagery, but just in terms of humor. Where like, well, this is not working either way. It's not dirty enough to be like
Not
entertaining.
even
and
dirty, dark enough sometimes too, because you
Yeah,
don't need it to be dirty. You can have a dark joke, like oh, that's dark
yeah,
kind of joke that a kid's not going to get. They're not
yeah.
going to appreciate
But
that. So mature, I would say you can have more mature jokes.
But if you want this to be dark and metal, then you needed to lean into that. Stop. Don't make a movie where you're gonna be dark and metal and then still assume that you're somehow gonna sell it to children. Be dark and metal. That's what I would
Yeah,
say.
and explore your lore.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Like, yeah, the reason why this is 88 minutes is because they figured it would be boring for children. That's why.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
why.
probably.
I guarantee it probably got gutted in test screenings where kids said it was scary and boring, and so it got cut. I would not be surprised. Would not be surprised.
Oh, also a fun fact about it is, the first portion of the movie, where Nine's vocal cords are damaged and he doesn't talk.
Yeah.
That's a direct reference to the original short film where he doesn't talk the entire movie.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Doesn't it start with him mostly? Yeah, him mostly not talking, which, as we all know, kids don't like that. They find that boring.
Yeah, because that's apparently a a reference to the original short.
Neat. Jordan's that it?
That is it.
That's it for nine. Number nine.
Number nine.
Number
Number nine.
So Jordan hasn't talked about it yet, but he's going to be talking about what we have dubbed corporate slop. And as Jordan,
corporate slop.
as Jordan put it, yeah. Sometimes, well, I'm gonna do it this way. Sometimes when it comes to animation, you have crappy but this is what I learned this week. Shitty but admirable. You have art, and you have corporate slop. And like, look, man, corporate slop conceptually, philosophically, fundamentally is not good. But for what it is, it can at least be entertaining. So I watched a movie called Shark Tale. Shark Tale is like the Godfather granddaddy of corporate slop. It is a celebrity voice cast with celebrity voice actors who are phoning in every second of it. It's a nonsense plot. It's terrible. So, Jordan, do you remember Shark Tale?
That's okay. Hold on. Is that the one where Will Smith is the main character?
That's the one where Will Smith is the main
Yes,
character.
then the car wash.
Yes.
Yes.
So, you know what's really funny? It had been years since I watched it. I don't think I'd watched it since we originally watched it in movie theaters for some reason. But I remember playing the video game as well. But anyway.
There's a video game?
Yeah, I remember playing the video game.
I wasn't even aware there was one.
I remember renting it from Blockbuster.
Blockbusters. I remember Blockbusters. They let you rent all those mid-tier to low-tier games at a reasonable price.
So, at a very reasonable price. So, in my perspective, from my memory, okay, now let me ask you, what do you remember this movie being about? I want to see.
I don't.
You don't remember what this movie's about?
Okay, hold on. Let me genuinely try to remember. I think Will Smith sees like a pretty red fish, a red and white fish that he like has a thing for, and then there's like the gay shark, who wants to be a dolphin, and they work at a car wash.
You're kind of there. So from my
that's
memory,
all my memory recalls.
You
of
got
that movie.
the pieces, and you only remember the gay shark bit because I told you it yesterday.
Yeah, I genuinely wouldn't remember it otherwise. But like as soon as you said that, it pops into my head.
Yeah.
And the disapproving dad, like I can now picture it.
So okay, so This movie takes place in a reef where it is run by
A crime boss?
crime family who are all sharks.
Right, and that's the dad, and he
That's
wants
the
his son
dad,
to take over.
and he
Right,
wants
right,
his
right,
sons
right.
to take over the business. And from my memory, this was Will Smith and Jack Black team up, and they pretend that he's a shark killer, right? I didn't remember him actually killing a shark, and so Will Smith is a little fish who looks like Will Smith. He has Will Smith's ears, and it's really funny.
It's like one of the only animated films he's ever done, I think.
One, no, he's also done now. He's done the one where he becomes a pigeon, but I think so
I
now.
said one of them.
He's honestly not bad. He's not the one who's phoning it in the most. That's probably Angelina Jolie. But yeah, he works for at the car wash for Pufferfish, played by Martin Scorsese, who he owes money to, and so the sharks decide because because he's gonna give it to his son, he's gonna crack down on all the people who owe money. So as a result, Martin Scorsese, Pufferfish, is gonna crack down on Will Smith, and Will Smith basically he gets the money he owes Martin Scorsese, and he goes to a race, a seahorse racetrack, and he is about to give all the money he owes to Martin Scorsese, and he overhears that there's a seahorse who is a guaranteed win because they're fixing the race, and Will Smith is like a get rich quick Oscar. His name is Oscar's a get rich quick scheme kind of sleazy kind of guy. He bets all the money on this seahorse, and he's about to win, and the seahorse trips and he loses all the money. And Martin Scorsese fish, he's got two enforcers who are two Rastafarian jellyfish, played by one of them is played by Bob Marley's son, and they sing Rastafarian music, which is really funny. And the sharks happen to be out there, and they see him, and the whole time they've been trying to get Jack Black's character to eat something like a shrimp or a fish or whatever, and the brother Frankie like, you gotta eat him, and he's like, no, I'm not gonna eat him, and he's trying to help like things get away, and the brother's like, fuck this, I'm gonna eat it, and he goes to chase after Oscar.
That's some foul language for a kids movie.
Well, he says it in PG language, but that's basically what he says, and he goes after Oscar. He tries to eat him, and in the process of eating Oscar, he gets clubbed in the head with an anchor and gets killed. Like,
ooh, that's dark.
You see him get killed. Like, you see him take the anchor to the back of the head, and then he dies in the Jack Black character's arms. And the jellyfish see him with the dead body of the brother and think that he kills this shark. I completely forgot about this. Like, I was like, I don't remember this, like, at all. And that's where the whole they think he's this shark killer comes from, is them thinking that he killed the brother. And the Jack Black character just disappears. He shows up later, and him and Oscar hatch this plan where basically he hides the Jack Black character, who the dad is now looking for, because he thinks that Oscar killed both of the sons, and so that he's now coming after Oscar. And so that's where there's a bit where him and Jack Black stage a fight, and he makes it look like he's killed him, and he becomes a dolphin. He dresses up as a dolphin, and there's a whole running bit within the movie where he's like, oh yeah, your son's a vegetarian who likes to dress up like a dolphin, and there's like an implication that like it's said like, you know, he likes to dress up like a dolphin.
He likes to dress like a dolphin. There's no
Shame.
subtle implication for what that
Right.
could be or what they're trying to allude to. Anything that you have seen in there, Justin, is 100% something saying something about you.
And what was fascinating is the difference between this and Teacher's Pet was this movie at the end, the dad accepts him. The dad played by Robert De Niro is like, no, you know what, son, I may not understand it, but I accept you for who you are. And the fact that you like to dress as a dolphin and you don't want to, you're a vegetarian, that's fine with me, son. I accept you for who you are. And it was in stark contrast to Teacher's Pet.
To be fair, That's because teacher's pet, it's a master who owns the one person, and the other is a father who has lost his son and doesn't want to push his remaining son further away. Two completely different
What's funny
contexts.
though is the brother dying.
I'm not
I mean,
wrong.
you're not wrong. The brother dying is completely unnecessary. He's a completely unnecessary character. You could completely cut him out of the movie and just have it where, um, the
No,
dad.
he needs to die so the dad will become more accepting.
Well, yeah, no, but you can still do that with the brother. You can still have the plot where you think that he's killed the shark. You can still have it where he fakes his death. The whole plot could still function completely the same way if you cut out that brother character. He's completely necessary. But yeah, it's there's all sorts of really weird. At one point, um, Oscar's drinking something that's like akin to Coca-Cola. There's all kinds of bad product placement. The animation looks like shit. Like this is I like you're probably like, oh, but Justin, this is the early 2000s. Nothing looked good back then. But like, this is post Shrek, and
Good is relative.
Shrek at least looks okay. Like Shrek doesn't look dated. This is horrendous. None of the fish look good. It's a weird movie because a bunch of the humor involved. It's like, um, it's a mob boss movie, but like the mob one character is played by Martin Scorsese, who famously directed a ton of mob movies. The mob boss dad is played by Robert De Niro, who is in The Godfather, not The Godfather, the Goodfellas. He's in Goodfellas. Um, the Rastafarian jellyfish, played by Bob Marley's son, is really funny. That made me laugh. I didn't think any of the performances were all that terrible. The only one who I thought was really bad was Angelina Jolie, who's an angelfish. Um, yeah,
Of course.
It's absolutely like the beginning of like when you're like, oh, whenever anyone's like, how come you only ever get celebrities to voice these characters? You never get actual voice actors. It kind of starts with Shrek, but this is where it really cements itself. If you're like, oh, why are kids' movies bad? This is the one. This is why. This is the one that's why. And just funny because it's like, yeah, it's a bunch of adult jokes that just the kids. Like, I saw a bunch of reviews that are like, are the kids getting the joke about Robert De Niro playing the mob boss shark?
Probably not.
Are they getting the movie about the gay shark? Like,
No, probably not.
um,
Whoa. You think he's gay, Justin. That's you
uh,
putting your own perceptions on. He could
me,
be a cross-dresser.
yeah, that's true. Me and the Gay Alliance thing. The one this funny because I think I saw something about how gay people found this sort of quasi empowering, and they said the same thing about to wrap up this video that you're currently watching about.
I still have two have-not scenes. What are you talking about?
No, I mean the YouTube video that this is currently.
Oh, got it.
We're
Go ahead.
wrapping it up because I'm going to combine Teacher's Pet and Shark's Tale. It's going to be a video about gay people.
I understand.
Um,
I understand.
this and trans people. This one. Where was I going with it? Where was I going with that?
This one, he's way more accepting, and
way
it ends on a happy note.
That's what I saw comments on the I watched some songs from I watched the theme song, and there were comments on it that said that Teacher's Pet was a trans awakening for them, and I would respond to that with really, because it is a decidedly anti-trans movie. That's it. That's wrapping it up.
Okay. All right. I
That
understand.
is not me. That's not me saying I am pro or anti-trans. I'm merely speaking on the movie. Just
All right.
I'm not making a definitive statement on anything. Just that movie.
I understand.
I knew you would.
So, moving into have-not scenes. We're gonna start off with. We're gonna save the corporate schlock one for last, I think.
Corporate slop.
Schlock, slop, same thing. We're gonna start with Space Chimps, which arguably is also corporate slop, but it's less on the nose if it is.
Space
um,
Chimps.
So this came out in 2008.
Do the chimps go to space?
Yes.
All right. It's not like a misdirect where they never actually make it to space.
No, they go to another planet.
I understand. Understood.
So this one, rest of the voice. There's two voice actors in this that really made this more enjoyable for me. The rest of them are, I don't recognize their names well enough to think they're worth calling out. Um, but you had Andy Samberg and Patrick Warburton were in this one.
Really?
And yep,
That's a funny coincidence.
alrighty then. Andy Samberg is the main one, and Patrick Warburton is the strong but dumb one.
Of course he is.
Captain.
Of course he is.
Um, and so I think it was this one that we're going to reveal some lore about Jordan here. Is when I did college, I went to 3D modeling and animation college, and one of my teachers, again, I'm pretty sure it was this one, might have been another one, but um, there was one really bad animated movie which he would continuously harp on how bad the animation for it was, and my memory anyway tells me it was this one. It might have been Diego, but I'm pretty sure it was this
You
one.
mean Delgo?
Whatever it was, you know the one.
I know the one.
The one that is literally on one of my animation textbooks.
That one was bad, real bad, real bad.
But flashback to when I talked about that one.
Flashback.
But this one was fine. So short version, main character is Andy Samberg. His character's name, and I'm only going to say it because I need to distinguish him from his grandfather.
Mr. Chips.
No, it's Ham the Third. And Ham the Third is Ham the First's grandson. Ham the First was a very famous space astronaut chimp who, I think he was supposed to be like the chimp that went up.
Chimp, if you will.
If you will. I believe he's supposed to be the one that went up before Armstrong in the story. But like he's a famous space chimp. And then Ham the Third is a circus chimpanzee who likes doing cannon acts and crashing. And so then
he does not want to be a famous space chimp.
No, he does not. And so then the astronaut people sent this unmanned probe out, and it ended up going through this wormhole and ended up on a different planet where there are now on the other side of the galaxy, where there are now aliens. And one of the aliens learns how to manually take control of the space probe and uses it to dominate his alien society and take over. And so then the humans who are about to lose their funding are like, okay, well, we need to send the space chimps up to see if like life can survive going through the wormhole, and then we can get more budget, which is questionable morality if you're asking me. Hashtag save the animals. But they do send them, and they go through, and then there's the aliens and the space chimps get lost, and there's some whammy whammy schlammy vlammy. And then they end up making friends with various aliens and saving the alien society from the one who took over, and they missed their flight on their plane, which they find out was automatically programmed, and they weren't really astronauts at all. They didn't do anything. They just sat there because the entire time Andy Samberg's character is like, we're just here like guinea pigs to see if our heads explode. We're not real astronauts. And the other two are like, we are real astronauts. Fuck you. And then later on in the movie they find out they're not real astronauts.
Big twist.
And then and it ultimately leads to a joke which made me laugh. So then also a character that Ham the Third knows because he knew his grandpa Ham the First is this old ape who is named Houston, which I thought was funny. So they missed their flight back because it leaves on their own.
Is precious.
It leaves on its own, and they're not on the ship because they're like, we have to help the alien people. You know, they were so kind to us and stuff. And so they go off to do that, and then they're like, well, I guess we're stuck here now. And then they call Houston on the banana phone and are like, Houston, can you help us make this unmanned probe into a flyable spaceship? Because that's how that works, I guess. And then they do, and they fly back, and
and
they make it back,
and then
and
they
then they
do.
and they and then they land, and then the humans who had given up, and because the spaceship returned without the apes, who had given up, and the senator was going to cut all their funding and be like, nay, nay. Um, the apes come back, and then they're all like, this was an unmanned spaceship. It can't have flown back here with them in it. And some of them were like, well, we may never know who built this, but we know that they're real astronauts because they flew and it wasn't
Bam, bam,
programmed,
bam.
and they had to do all the
Bam,
flying
bam.
themselves. And then like one of the humans is like, I think we might have to retest the intelligence of our apes because
Bam, bam,
they're
bam.
so smart.
Oh no, they
And
might
that
do a
made
Planet of the Apes.
and that made me laugh.
We have to make several more
Um,
sequels.
I had at least one which was straight to DVD.
Straight to Divida.
Space Chimps 2, Zartog Strikes Back.
Straight.
And that's Space Chimps. It was fine. Like, it's one of those, like, is it good? No. Is it bad?
No.
Kind of. A little bit. It's schlock.
Yeah.
It's schlock. Like, it's one you could put your kids in front of and they'd probably get enjoyment from. Are the parents who are forced to watch it with them going to enjoy it? If you have enough
Anything's good,
help,
man.
anything can be entertaining.
Yeah. No, wrong.
That's Space Chimps.
So it's funny that you got yours has Patrick Warburton. In. I was gonna do this in the other order, but I think I'm gonna do this way. Jordan, have you ever heard of a movie called? Wait,
Drum roll.
let's make sure I get the name right.
Drum roll.
Hoodwinked.
I recognize the name, but I don't think I've ever watched it. Is that the one where it's the poster has Little Red Riding Hood?
Yeah. Little Red Riding Hood, the Big Bad Wolf, Granny, and the Huntsman.
I don't know about the rest of all of them. I just remember that it had Red Riding Hood.
Yes, it is wondrously cheap looking. One of the worst animated movies I've ever seen. It looks cheap. All the characters look bad. Little Red Riding Hood is horrifying looking. But honestly, it's kind of good. It was made by like an independent animation studio, and they didn't have a ton of money, so it didn't have the budget. But it is honestly really clever. Like it's written really cleverly. It's really funny. There's some genuinely funny jokes. It's got okay. So here's the plot of it. So we open, Jordan, and it is the ending of the story of the Little Red Riding Hood. The Little Red Riding Hood has come in, and the Big Bad Wolf is disguised as the grandma, and they go through the whole rigmarole, what big teeth you have, yada yada yada. And then out of nowhere, Granny busts out of the closet, and a random man, a huntsman with an axe, bursts through the windshield, and everything is off the rails. It now cuts, and it's the cops are there, and they are questioning everyone as to what happens, and a detective, and I learned this today, a detective played by David Ogden Stiers, who plays Cogsworth in Beauty and the Beast. I was like, I recognize this voice. Why do I recognize this voice? And I Googled it, and it was like, it's David Ogden Stiers, and I know he's Jumba, but I was like, he's not Jumba's voice. I recognize it as another voice, and I looked through his filmography. Yeah, he's Cogsworth. So Jumba and Cogsworth are played by the same voice actor.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I would have never guessed that.
I know, right? I was like, I would have never guessed that.
That you could have a very British person being a very not British sounding.
Right. I was like, oh, that's pretty. They sound completely different characters. That's an impressive performance.
Or not British, but I guess English, very English. I don't know what I'm saying.
And so yeah, he's for Detective Hops or something. He's a frog. I think he's a frog. Yeah, he comes in, and this is the framing device for the movie. Interviews each of them. So the Little Red Riding Hood, the Big Bad Wolf, the Huntsman, and Granny. And you find out what happened, basically, that led up to that moment at the beginning of the movie. So the movie starts off with you find out that there has been a recipe thief who's been stealing people's recipes in the town. And so Little Red Riding Hood is taking Granny's recipe book to Granny's cabin for safekeeping. And the movie is initially about her journey to Granny's cabin, how she wound up confronting the Big Bad Wolf at the Granny's cabin. And so initially you see that she runs into the Big Bad Wolf, who says a bunch of really suspicious shit. And she gets prevented from going a certain way. So then she runs into a goat who claims to be cursed by a witch, so he can only ever sing, because this is also a musical.
Of course it
and
is.
The music is honestly not bad. And he takes her through the mines in a mine cart, and they get to the back end of the mine cart, and part of the track is just missing, and they crash. And she's falling, and out of nowhere she sees what appears to be the spirit of her grandma telling her to use her hood as a parachute. And then it gets to her at the cabin, and they're like, well, yeah, what happened? So then next they interview the Big Bad Wolf, and you find out that the Big Bad Wolf is actually a investigative reporter, and he suspects that Little Red Riding Hood is the recipe thief, and that her and the grandma are smuggling the recipe and these baked goods. And so he's been trailing her and going undercover, and his whole bit is he goes undercover in really obvious looking costumes where you can clearly tell who it is. And so he's been trailing her so he can write this story, and that's where he meets her in the woods, and you find out from his perspective that he's just awkward, and he asks these questions awkwardly, and he gets caught, and he tries to chase after her, and it looks like he's being antagonistic, and he follows after her, and he winds up in his own mining cart, and he's got a little squirrel sidekick who talks really fast and is hard to understand, and they're in the mine, and it's really dark, and he's like, ooh, there's a candle, and he lights the candle, and they see it's dynamite. It's like, oh, you got no candle. We gotta get rid of the candles. And he throws the candles out of the minecart, and it blows up the track that she was on. So when she was like falling, it was because he blew up the track. And there's a point where he's following her, and earlier in the movie she has this big musical number where she sings this big musical number, and from his perspective, like during the musical number, she like magically flies off. So in the musical number, when it cuts to his perspective, you see him watching her do this musical number, and she just randomly flies off out of nowhere, and he's like, ooh, that's creepy. And the wolf is voiced by Patrick Warburton, and Little Red Riding Hood is voiced by Anne Hathaway. And so then it gets to they're interviewing the huntsman, and it turns out that the huntsman is not actually a huntsman, but he's an actor who he's trying to audition for I don't know if it's a movie or a commercial. It's something to do with being a huntsman. So he's been dressed as a huntsman trying to get into character, and he initially gets rejected, and the producer of the thing phones him and is like, yeah, we're kind of thinking about maybe going in your direction. We're calling you back. This is a callback. And he's like, oh, I've never gotten a call back before. I'm so excited. And he's like, what I need you to do is I need you to live, breathe, and die a woodsman. You are a woodsman. I need you to not just act like a woodsman. I need you to become a woodsman. And so he goes around, he goes crazy, he starts like cutting down trees and acting like a woodsman. And he gets stuck in a tree. I think it's an axe or his shoes or something, gets stuck in a tree. And he rolls down the hill, and it sends him flying, and he goes crashing into Granny's house with the axe. No. I forgot to mention that. So the Big Bad Wolf, he's trailing Little Red Riding Hood, and he winds up at Granny's house. So he discovers that Little Red Riding Hood is the granddaughter of Granny, who's like this famous person in town. And he shows up there, and she's already tied up in the closet, and he's like, conveniently she was really famous and had her merchandise lying around, so he dresses up as her, and the cops are like, wait, so you're saying that you showed up and she just happened to be like locked up or tied up in the closet? And he's like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. And they're like, all right. And then the detective's like, there's only one thing left to do. We need to talk to Granny. So they interview Granny, and it turns out that Granny is like into extreme sports. So she couldn't see Little Red Riding Hood earlier in the movie because she was going off to do a extreme snowboarding competition with an obviously evil set of competitors. And earlier in the movie, when you saw Little Red Riding Hood talk to like what looked like the ghost of Granny, it actually was Granny because she was running away from some bad guys and she was parachuting down, and she just happened to see her parachuting. um, and so it turns out that the whole thing was just a misunderstanding.
Well, okay then.
And so then there's the whole mystery left though, Jordan. There's one mystery left of who's the recipe thief. And so the whole movie, Little Red Riding Hood has a little squirrel. What was he?
Chipmunk?
Rabbit. He's a rabbit played by Andy Dick. And the only role I've ever liked Andy Dick in. He is quite good in this. He is quite funny. He has quite and his character is really quite, compared to the rest of the characters, expressively animated. But he's been around the whole movie, just kind of hanging around, giving people like advice, and like when the wolf is trying to figure out how to get to Granny's house, he like gives him directions. He helps the Granny during the competition, and he's just kind of been around. And earlier in the movie, I was like, wait a minute, fucking rabbit. So it turns out that the rabbit is the recipe thief, and the whole like climax of the movie is them fighting the rabbit. And the rabbit was like, "Would you think I was hanging out with you because I was your friend?" No, I wasn't hanging out with you. I didn't actually like you. And he sings this song. He has a little musical number that's quite funny. And then the movie ends with they all get invited by the detective to join his super secret spy agency where they'll go fight bad guys. And honestly, Jordan, I'm probably gonna watch it because I really enjoyed this. I thought it was really, really funny, and I thought it was really, really clever. And there's a lot of really, really funny jokes that made me laugh. There's one in particular that I'm completely blanking on.
So not all bad movies are bad, is what
No,
you're
that's
saying.
what I'm saying. Yeah, you're right. Where you're like, oh, this one was horrendously animated, one of the ugliest movies I've ever seen. But it was funny. It was a funny and it was a clever movie. There were points that legitimately I laughed out loud, like the way it just kept escalating, and yeah, it was really funny. It was genuinely really funny, and I think it kind of gets a bad rap. So I think it's underrated. It's an underrated movie. That's it. That's Hoodwinked. I'm sure I'm going to think of the thing I wanted to say later. It's going to come to me, and I'm going to be mad at myself. But nope, completely blanking.
Okay. So, I think it's time that we talk about
Corporate slop.
Corporate slop. So, in 2017, a movie called The Emoji Movie came out.
The Emoji Movie.
And I want to actually read what the actual response was. The reception, rather. We'll ignore that for now. Critical response. Was wildly panned by film journalists and is widely considered to be one of the worst movies ever made. On the review aggregator, it usually gets an approval rating of 6%, yada, yada, yada. And yet, for all the people that say that it was a bad movie, and I really think this speaks a lot to Hollywood, it had a budget of $50 million. You want to guess what its box office was?
Didn't it? Okay, I can't remember. Didn't it do like incredibly well?
Do you want to guess what its box office was?
$100 million.
217.8 million. It did way too well considering everybody was like, "This is just corporate slop."
It's corporate slop.
That's
all it is.
But
it doesn't say it's not entertaining corporate slop.
I think the reason why,
but it's corporate slop.
It does as well as it does, is because it's just Wreck-It Ralph, but with emojis.
I think this.
That's why
first.
I enjoy.
Pretty sure this
I
came
don't think.
first.
No, I'm pretty sure the first Wreck-It Ralph came first.
Honestly, this was. I'm pretty sure this is 2016. I'm almost entirely positive.
No, this was 2017.
2017. I'm almost entirely positive that the Wreck-It Ralph is second.
Wreck-It Ralph came out in 2012.
No, the Oh,
I'm talking the first Wreck-It Ralph.
Oh, the first Wreck-It Ralph. Okay, I mean, yeah.
I'm saying this is just the first Wreck-It Ralph, where he leaves his game / program and then leaves. It also combines elements of the second one, where he goes off onto the cloud.
Yeah,
sure,
that is technically true.
But it's really just the first Wreck-It Ralph.
The thing is, I don't hate James Corden. I keep saying that, but I think he's funny in this. I think that.
I mean,
I think they're.
He's He's not the main character, so he's not the one who has to be
No.
funny.
Also, yeah, it's hard
T.J.
to.
Miller is the main character, and he has to be funny, and he's never funny.
I could think of stuff he's been funny in.
Um,
It's not coming
but
to
I
mind
mean,
currently,
we're talking corporate shill. This checks all the boxes.
Oh,
It has
absolutely.
multiple things that it's trying to sell you.
Absolutely.
It has a star-studded cast list of guest voices
Who,
of famous people.
all of whom are varying degrees of terrible. I will admit, Patrick Stewart's poop emoji is funny. Like, that's funny. I'm 5 years old. I don't care. It's funny.
Yeah, you got T.J. Miller, James Corden, Anna Faris, Maya Rudolph, Stephen Wright, Jennifer Coolidge, Sir Patrick Stewart, Christina Aguilera,
Yep.
Sofia Vergara,
You've got
Sean Hayes, Rachel Ray, Jeff Ross, Jake T. Austin.
Jordan, you're gonna get that product placement in there. Damned if it makes sense. Like, why would you play a Just Dance mobile app? It doesn't make any fucking sense. They clearly spent a lot of money on the license for Just Dance.
Was that ever a thing?
No,
I've never
heard of that being a thing. They clearly just paid a lot of money for the Just Dance licensing.
But like when I saw
Candy
Candy Crush, I rolled my eyes. I rolled my eyes for a lot of it, but I still laughed.
Game. Like, why would you not have it where they go to Temple Run? Like, at least that's a mobile game that would make sense.
But like, at the end of the day, I still had fun.
I was entertained. If a movie is meant to be entertaining, this was entertaining. In that, you're this is really bad, and I can't believe that they made this.
Like at the end of it, I found myself saying, this is the equivalent of corporate has sat the entire company down and to watch this is the corporately approved movie that you are allowed to watch and feel good things about. And they've tricked me into feeling good things about it. It is absolutely selling you shit, and it's absolutely it's not creative or original or good in any manner of the form. But it does all the things that have already been done, and it knows that you like those things, and I do like those things. So by attribution of I like Wreck-It Ralph, I enjoyed this.
This is an executive walked into the room and went, "You, intern, emojis are popular. Give me a movie. Give me an idea now. It has that vibe.
Do it.
You. It's the meh emoji. He can't be.
It's Wreck-It Ralph, but it's emojis.
No, there's no
it's
way.
It's Wreck-It Ralph, but it's emojis. Good. How much can we change it so that people don't just make that comparison?
You're giving, and this is good. You're giving us too much credit. They have no idea they're ripping off Wreck-It Ralph.
No, they absolutely do because it's Disney, and Disney makes buttloads of money.
This isn't Disney.
No, I know. Wreck-It Ralph is.
Oh, no, what I'm saying is...
So they're copying Wreck-It Ralph because they know it already made money.
That's what I'm saying.
No, this is produced by Columbia Pictures and Sony Pictures.
That's what I'm saying.
Sony Pictures would very definitely copy Disney.
No, I'm not saying they wouldn't. I'm saying you're giving this movie too much credit. It's not that smart. It's not smart enough to rip off Wreck-It Ralph. It's just... But it is. I know. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying it's not smart enough to intentionally do it. I don't think they're intentionally ripping off Wreck-It Ralph.
We're gonna have to disagree on that. I don't think it takes intelligence to copy somebody.
I know. I mean, I don't think that they put enough thought into this to copy someone. Is what I'm saying. I think.
But they did.
It's not about being smart. No. I'm not saying they did. I'm saying not that much thought went into this movie. You're putting more thought into this than they did.
That's why they just copied a thing, cookie cuttered it, and put out a new product. That doesn't take any thought.
No, but what I'm saying, that's what I'm saying though, is I'm saying what you're saying is oh, they walked in and went, no, we need to rip off Wreck-It Ralph. What I'm saying is, no, Wreck-It Ralph never entered their mind. They never thought to intentionally rip off Wreck.
I don't agree.
They're just so unoriginal, and this is so uninspired that they just happened to do it. Like, I guarantee you they thought this was clever. Like,
no,
I guarantee
I absolutely think
like an executive walked in and
absolutely think that they copied Wreck-It Ralph.
No, I'm not saying they didn't. Like, you're not hearing me. I'm saying that they did rip it off. What I'm saying is I don't think that enough thought went into this to intentionally.
You can't have it both ways. You can't say they didn't think to do it, but then they did it.
Of course I can.
They very clearly thought to do it because they did it.
No, you can rip something off. There's lots of movies which like I guarantee you earlier in this episode when I talked about that Titanic ripping off all that Disney shit. I guarantee you they didn't do that intentionally.
No, they didn't. They didn't directly rip off Disney at that point. They ripped off the Grimm's fairy tales, which Disney also ripped off.
But what I'm saying is there was no there with this
Everybody,
movie,
it's Hollywood, Justin. Everybody is ripping off everybody.
Oh yeah,
yes,
no, that's not what I'm
it
saying.
was thought. It was thought of.
That's not what
yes,
I'm saying.
it was.
No, no, again, not it wasn't. No, it's like having seen this movie,
I will say, if anything, Wreck-It Ralph 2 ripped off this because Wreck-It Ralph came out in 2018.
Yes, like I don't think that they
I think it's a real snake eating itself thing where everybody rips off everybody. But no, yes, absolutely. They do think about these things, Justin.
Like
they do.
An executive
because from a legal standpoint, you can't have a thing that's too similar or you're going to get sued. They have to. They have to. From a legal standpoint, they have to think about these things.
I think an executive walked in and just said, I really this movie reads like your not Donald Trump, but like a Donald Trump-esque. Like your typical movie executive just went in and went, emojis are popular, make it a movie. Like, I don't think he went in and he went, make it like Wreck-It Ralph. I think he just went, make it a movie. And then the writer 3 steps down might have been like, hey, what if we just took the bones of Wreck-It Ralph and put emojis on it? But I don't think, and it's a
well, that still means the creative team fucking did it. Maybe. We're splitting. At this point, we're splitting hairs.
Maybe. I just don't think enough thought was put to this to consider ripping anything off intentionally. I
think it's too similar to Wreck-It Ralph for it not to be ripping off Wreck-It Ralph.
I think you're giving this movie entirely too much credit.
Again, I think it's too similar to Wreck-It Ralph for that not to be intentional.
Yeah, but there's lots of times where people unintentionally rip things off, and it's not intentional. But hey, maybe, like I say, maybe some writer was like, hey, I have a biting thing to say about emojis after watching Wreck-It Ralph. I don't think they thought. I don't think the people who wrote this movie. I think there was just a vehicle to jam in as many references to things that you get on your cell phone and not even do it all that well. That's the thing.
Yeah, which is what Wreck-It Ralph is. Wreck-It Ralph is just a device to show off as many video game related things as they can. Yes.
Really?
Yes, it is.
Not really.
Yes, it is. There's an entire scene where they walk through Game Central Station, which is just an amalgamation of things video game related that you recognize.
Right.
Yes,
right.
Justin.
But it's like this is worse. Like. It's
this is absolutely worse. I'm saying this takes that concept.
Right.
They saw that works as a concept.
I don't think.
Yes, they did.
To be fair,
they did, Justin.
To be fair, that concept predates Wreck-It Ralph anyway. But no, I don't think this. I don't think the people who wrote this went, yeah, let's rip off Wreck-It Ralph. I don't think. To be fair, no one ever sets out to rip anything off. I just think that's incidental, and I think you're giving.
I don't know how you could watch this movie and not say they ripped off Wreck-It Ralph or Who Framed Roger Rabbit or any.
That's not what I'm saying, though.
That is what you're saying.
No, I'm saying they did rip it off, but I'm saying they didn't do it intentionally.
You can't rip something off unintentionally.
Of course you can.
Some part of you knows that you're ripping it off.
No, that happens all the time.
It doesn't. Cite your sources.
No, there's a name for it. Oh, what is it called? There's a name for the phenomenon, where it's you subconsciously take an idea or use an idea with hold on, what is that called? Hold on, let's Google, what is the name of that phenomenon where you don't intentionally steal someone's idea but you subconsciously do?
According to Wikipedia, the film was inspired by director Tony Leonidas' love of Toy Story. So Disney was absolutely in their mind.
Inspired, not ripped off, but
that's a real tricky word to use because one would argue they're the same thing.
But the phenomenon where someone subconsciously uses another person's idea without realizing it is called cryptomnesia, or unconscious plagiarism. It involves mistakenly forgetting the source of an idea and later recalling it as one's own. So, I'm not saying they didn't rip it off. I'm just saying I think that requires thought, and I just don't believe this movie had any thought put to it beyond just how can we put in Candy Crush? This movie is a checklist of things that they were told. You're right. They're a checklist of things they were told at a corporate level to put in the movie. That's what it is. That's all it is.
I don't disagree. I'm just saying it's a ripoff of Wreck-It
No,
Ralph.
I mean, but again, that's
And
not.
I think it was
No,
intentional.
I don't
I
think it
think
was.
by design it was because corporately they realized that that would
I,
make it sell
I'm
better.
gonna be real frank with you, Jordan. I know you love Wreck-It Ralph. I don't think Wreck-It Ralph is a popular enough movie for them, or at least at that point was a popular enough movie
Came
for.
out in 2012. It had plenty of time to be seeded.
But it wasn't. Again, it's not a culturally popular movie for them to rip off. It's just, hey man, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's a writer out there who's like, yeah, no, we absolutely ripped off Wreck-It Ralph, but I,
Wreck-It Ralph made $496.5 million. Yes, it was absolutely popular enough that an a studio executive who is all about making money would have looked at the skeleton of that and been like, how can we shape our own?
not
Yes.
not for the Emoji Movie. No, it's that's. And for other things, yes. Again, you are giving this movie entirely too much credit. You are.
No, I'm not. I'm
You are.
saying they copied another movie.
Yeah, but you're saying they intentionally copied. That's putting thought to it. What I'm saying is they didn't. They thought
We're gonna
about.
have to. We can
They,
go back and forth
they
on
thought
this
about it
all day.
Hold on, let me finish. They thought about it so little that they just wrote the most. What I'm saying is the Wreck-It Ralph story is so obvious, that so brain dead obvious of a concept for this. Honestly, no, they're ripping off Toy Story is really what they're doing. If they're ripping off anything, or if they're stealing anything, it's Toy Story. What I'm saying is that they put so little thought into this. There's so little effort that they did the first thing they could think of, which was the same thing as Wreck-It Ralph. I don't think they put any amount of thought in. I don't think they put any thought into this to think, oh, we should steal Wreck-It Ralph. To suggest
Well, I mean,
that gives
to
the
be
movie
fair,
too much credit.
to be fair, I want to be fair to the not corporate people who might have worked passionately on this
I
movie.
doubt it.
Don't interrupt, please. Maybe there was original intentions behind this that got lost along the way, but what
There's no
ended
way.
up coming out, there is. Be fair.
There's no
There's
way.
there's a number of times where when you go to an executive people or the people higher up, your bosses with very good ideas. In my own life, I can cite examples where I planned out an entire fucking thing, went to my bosses, and they were like, "Oh, that's nice, pat on the head. We're gonna do it our way anyway."
I
So
mean,
yes, don't fucking turn your nose up at the fact that yes, it's I'm not saying that it is. I'm just devil's advocating. It is possible that there were original good ideas that got lost along the way.
absolutely not. No. There's no way you could watch that movie and believe that there was anything other than cynicism, a corporate desire to sell a product. It is the most cynically transparent, cynical, awful. This is why capitalism sucks. It drains the creativity out of art kind of movie. Like, it's just there to be references to, hey, and look, man, I'm not saying it's not entertaining, but no, I guarantee you, this was
Oh, it was just a way to get money. That's
the
all
word.
it was.
That's
It's
the
just
word.
a way to
It's
get
just
money.
a job. It's just a job. So that's what I'm saying. This
That's
has
where I
real
say I don't
draft
disagree with
energy. I think that a person just sat down and wrote the most obvious thing, and it just so happened to rip off Wreck-It Ralph. Like, I don't think that they put in enough thought to it to actually
That's where we disagree.
like, there's so many other things that are like, oh no, this is like an active play. Like, it's not plagiarism, I guess is how I would put it. Like,
I mean, you can copy a thing and not have it be plagiarism.
yeah, no, yeah. I think you're giving the film entirely too much credit.
And I disagree with that sentiment because I'm not. Copying something doesn't take effort
But I'm
or
saying,
or energy or credit or it's
but-
just copying
but,
something.
But it does, because
It's not. It's the equivalent of you wrote an A plus on a paper, handed your paper over to me. I scratched out a couple of the answers and changed some things. It doesn't
right.
require any effort on my part.
But
You did all the work.
if you're actively thinking about ripping in movies, if you're actively thinking about ripping them off, then you have to actively think about making enough changes so it is different enough so that you don't get sued. And I just don't think enough thought went into this. I think that
I do because that requires way less effort than actually creating a product.
But no, what I'm saying, no, but that's what I'm saying is I'm saying what was done with this was clearly this was a first pass at a draft, and someone just wrote the most obvious thing they could think of. And that's where you're conflating ideas. What I'm saying is no thought went into this. No one sat down and went, oh hey, I like Wreck-It Ralph, so I'm gonna rip that off. That requires thought. That requires
No, I think what went into this is we want this to make money. We don't care how it makes money. It just needs to make money.
yeah.
It can have all the obvious schlick in there that it wants to have. It just needs to make money. What's the easiest way we can make money? Rip off Disney, the company that's known for printing money.
Yeah, but again, that's different. Ripping off Disney is different than ripping off a specific movie. That's
No, it's not,
but
Justin.
It is. But
It's
is.
not.
It is.
When this is the closest movie that they could fucking attribute to their movie,
no,
the thing that's the similar. No, quite frankly, they're ripping off Toy Story. It's stated in here that they were inspired by Toy Story.
By Toy Story.
They were ripping off Toy Story.
I mean, there's only 5 stories in Hollywood. It's a movie about something that you don't expect to be alive, but is alive. But yeah, no, it's Toy Story. It's all Toy Story. But no, yeah, I don't think like the
reason why I say that it's Wreck-It Ralph and not Toy Story though is because
it is Wreck-It Ralph. You're not wrong.
It's him. It's the main character not feeling accepted by society and going off on adventure.
Yes, I know it's Wreck-It Ralph. What I'm saying,
it's Wreck-It Ralph, and they intended for it to be Wreck-It Ralph.
They did not intend for it.
That's where we're gonna have to agree to disagree. Anyways, I don't have anything else to say about this corporate movie.
Let's just see who wrote it, and I can promise you that there's no way. Hold on, who wrote this thing? Oh, it's actually written by the guy who directed it. Yeah. No, okay. Perhaps one of them, because it's written by 2 guys. Perhaps one of them. I'm not saying it's not possible that one of them didn't write or didn't watch Wreck-It Ralph or had seen Wreck-It Ralph and subconsciously they put stuff that was inspired from it. I'm not saying that didn't happen. What I am saying is neither of those writers sat down and went, we need to rip off Wreck-It Ralph. None of them did that. To be fair, nobody does that. That's not how you write a script. You don't enter writing a script with the intention of like.
I mean, no. Okay. Let's be clear. No,
that did not. Happen.
I don't think that, because that's a level of maliciousness that I just. No. I mean, it exists in Hollywood. Let's not pretend it doesn't exist in Hollywood, but you don't get far doing that.
No.
I fully believe that okay, you prefer I say they took major inspiration from it.
Well, they're
basic. They took major inspiration from it.
They took the most basic story they could take and they took it. I just don't believe that they went, you know what was recent and was popular? I don't think they did that. I think they went. They went. They probably were. It probably is inspired there at some point. But anyway, that movie sucks. It's a bad movie. That is.
And yet I still enjoyed it.
Again, we've made this case before, but there's a very strong difference between a movie being entertaining and being good.
There is. That's very true.
Movie can be entertaining and bad. Speaking of which, Jordan, my final movie and our final movie for the week is a movie called Food Fight. And
is there a food fight in the
Yes, there is. So Food Fight is horrible, terrible, and it is one of the worst it is the cheapest animated movies I've ever seen. Charlie Sheen plays a detective dog who is a cereal mascot. Hilary Duff is like so this movie simultaneously it takes place in a supermarket, and at night the supermarket becomes a cartoon town where all of the mascots of the products in the supermarket come to life, and they're called icons. And
is there a food orgy? Because it sounds a lot like Sausage Party.
No, there is not. But it's weird because this movie
really needed that sausage, that food orgy. Dang it!
This movie, for some reason, was able to afford the licenses to certain characters. So for like scenes, Mr. Clean is just hanging out in the background randomly. He's just there.
All right.
But so the plot of this is so in the real world, quote unquote, a evil brand led by a character played by Christopher Lloyd, who, Jordan, how would you describe how that character moves? Because I sent you a video of him.
What's the word? Jerky?
Jerky? Like he's like on
No, but that's
something.
not the word that I'm looking for.
Twitchy,
Twitchy is another one, but not the
rubbery.
word. It's not, what's the opposite of static? Like,
Uh,
like I don't,
yeah,
yeah.
jerky. Jerky's the best way. Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll think of a good word later, and we'll be mad at ourselves again. He comes in with a new brand called Brand X, and so in which he's using to replace all of the brands in the store because it is a cheaper, easier alternative, and within the
For some reason, the word bombastic is coming to mind, but that's not the word I'm
um
thinking of.
within the reality of the cartoon characters, the Brand X people have come in and they're like an invading army. One of them is basically a Nazi. He's dressed like a Nazi, and they're all being led by Mrs. X or Miss Brand X, who's like the leader. And the movie is basically the conflict between the two of them. And some of the music is it actually kind of, there's a song at one point that shows up. The California Raisins are there in the background and they're singing a song. I sent it to Jordan. Jordan, tell me you don't disagree. It kind of slaps.
Kind of slaps.
It kind of slaps. Like it's honestly kind of a good song. Um, everyone in this movie's bad. Like everyone, like Charlie Sheen, and it's bizarre because like they've all been good in other animated movies. Like Charlie Sheen is like okay, and All Dogs Go to Heaven too. I want to pull open the history of this movie. I'm gonna pull open the Wikipedia article because it is kind of a wild story. Yeah, it's really
Twitchy, I think is the
twitchy.
word.
Twitchy.
Is the word.
Yeah.
I think that's the word.
Wayne Brady's in it. He's like the mascot of like a chocolate company. He's a squirrel. Hold on. Yeah, when night falls at the supermarket, Marketropolis, the store
Fidgety.
products, mascots, Ikes and Icons come to life and interact with each other. The heroic serial mascot Dex Dog Detective is about to propose to his girlfriend Sunshine Goodness, a raisin mascot, but she mysteriously goes missing. 6 months later, a Brand X representative named Mr. Clipboard arrives at Marketropolis and aggressively pushes Brand X's range of generic products to Leonard, the store's manager. Yeah, he's played by Christopher Lloyd, who does this weird like he's like a snake almost. He's in like a completely different movie. He's having like this a weird amount of fun. Everyone else is weird and stilted. So yeah, they're all led by Lady X, and they're all the scene I sent you with the song. They're all planning to all stand up and resist them because they're slowly taking over the marketplace. And Jordan, and it turns out, so yeah, at the end they seemingly defeated the evil Brand X people, and out of nowhere Mr. Clipboard shows up and starts attacking them and is just seemingly aware of all the people that is alive, and you're like, what the fuck, what is this? And then Jordan, it turns out, big twist, Mr. Clipboard is actually a robot. He's been a robot the whole time.
Snap.
And then Jordan, even bigger twist, he's
as if it's a metaphor for corporatism and how corporatism leads to people just becoming machines.
And Jordan, then even bigger twist, he's a robot controlled by Lady X, because it turns out, Jordan, that Lady X had previously been the hideous Priscilla Pusley, an unsuccessful brand of prunes who had been stealing Sunshine's essence to create a new brand and was like trapped in the same aisle with her and hated her. They kill her.
That sounds oddly convoluted.
And they get married, and yeah, it's really weird, and the animation is bad, and it's upsetting looking, and it's not the worst thing I saw this week, because that is very definitely the Tenacious D thing.
That makes sense. I understand.
That might be, again, one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Ever.
I still argue it's not a movie.
Oh no, it's a movie. You can make the argument it's an anime. It's not an I will accept that it's not an animated movie. But
not a movie.
It is by the very strictest, pedantic, technical definition of what makes a movie. As it does involve moving pictures. Boy, those penises sure did move. Jordan, what was the worst movie you watched this week? And objectively bad. It has to be objectively bad. It's probably the Emoji Movie, isn't it?
Depends on what we're defining as bad. Because
badly acted, badly animated.
I think I gotta
Badly
I
written.
think I gotta give it to the Emoji Movie just because it's so corporatized.
It's just bad. It's
But
bad.
there are some contenders in my mind, anyways.
That's it. That's the end of the show, everybody. Next week, big season, big jam-packed season finale. We're going back to Marvel. We were gonna do Marvel. We were gonna do exclusively an MCU thing, but then I realized I want to watch Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer, so that's going on my list. So we might mix in some non-MCU stuff in there. Might mix it up a bit, as long as it's Marvel. That's all that matters. Marvel. That's next week. That's a big season finale, and then we're gonna be off for a week. What should we do first? Let's do the end of show plugs. Jordan, where can the people find you?
I do Minecraft Mondays on Twitch, ZapGore187, and I'm here.
I am also here, but I'm also on TikTok at Justin Spurr, or the show's on TikTok, Spur of the Moment P. If you want to email the show and sponsor us, or have us sell a thing or promote a thing, you can email the show at itsjustinsbusiness@gmail.com. You can join the Discord. No one really does, but you can join there. You can also, if you want to be on the show, I have a Google form you can fill out. That would be handy. If you want,
we have a Patreon. If you want to buy us a coffee,
you can support the Patreon. Right now, you're gonna see the big thing at the end screen, which is that if you want to see last week's episode, which was what was last week? Jordan, what was last week's episode?
That was last week. You expect me to remember?
Fantasy. That's what it was.
Fantasy. That was it, because it was just Moby Dick, but with dragons.
But with dragons. It was fantasy. Fantasy, and also Superman was there. You can click the box on the left. It's going to take you there. Or if you want to see a random video that YouTube thinks you're going to enjoy, you can click the box on the right. Hit subscribe. New podcast every Sunday. Or we put videos out 7 days a week, a new video every single day, sometimes 2 videos a day if we're lucky. Or you can like this podcast on YouTube. That helps us out a lot. Thank you to all our new subscribers. We are up to 224. We're getting there.
224.
Just as a reminder, I think we're gonna change it. I have new ideas, but when we hit 300, we're probably gonna eat some hot sauce. Some spicy ass hot sauce.
So I'm gonna die. Okay, cool.
Jordan, there's no way it could possibly be worse than the lemon extract.
I guess we'll find out.
There's no way it's gonna coat the inside of your mouth.
When we hit 300. No, that's the thing, Justin. The hot sauce will coat the inside of my stomach.
No,
the inside of your mouth you could at least rinse out a little bit.
I have plans. I have plans to make it balanced. But that is coming soon once we hit 300. Got to get us to 300 in order for that to happen. That's it. That's the end of the show. We will see you all next week for the finale. Have a good one, everybody. So long.